what sucks?
Your internet, dude. Does anybody see that? Doesn't he look blurry?
I thought it was my internet.
No, it's Dom the Ghost. It's the ghost
Mine?
of Dom. It's the ghost of Dom past.
What are you talking about? It's I'm looking at the screen right now. It's perfect.
Did you borrow that fucking internet from Sticks, bro? Did you borrow that from Sticks?
I'm looking at the screen.
As he teleports across the screen.
I know, as he's pushing across the street.
All right, you know what? I'm a Force Ghost. I'm playing the part of the Force Ghost, okay? There you go.
You gotta drop out, Dom. You gotta drop out and come back.
We
can't even hear Boba Fett behind you. Is that bad?
Who cares? No, there he goes. Hey, take your hand, put it up to your camera like this.
Yeah, maybe it's just the camera.
Yeah, and then now pull back. And let's not try to reset. Now I screwed mine up.
You see what you start the show.
It's not me. No, you're still jacked up.
Start this week.
I'm going. We already started the show. Hey, everybody, we already started the show. I'm sorry. We already started the show. I might have con crud. I might have holiday season party crud. I might have just being around the Utes crud, but I got some type of crud today, so excuse my voice. Excuse the sniffling. We got a show today that we're going to put together for you. Obviously, we're going to cover the stuff from the crew. We're finally going to make Wayseeker happy by reviewing a audiobook that he guaranteed was going to be the best audiobook we've ever listened to.
These things. Go back to the tape. I never said anything like that.
Luckily,
I actually thought it was decent.
Luckily, JJ. Hey, I do got some news though, real quickly. Just want to say something about trolling. Dom has stopped trolling our chat and now has become Wayseeker. All he's doing is putting in like this bullshit news about blue bears and like. But we did get him, and this is the worst part. We actually got Wayseeker in the chat too because I was like, damn, I almost pulled a Dom and posted something in here, and they go, F it, I'm gonna pull a Dom, did it, and Wayseeker's response to that was, hey Marco, Dom already posted that 2 days ago, not knowing, not reading the message. He pulled a Dom, so I pulled is that a reverse Dom? JJ, is that a reverse Dom?
It was a reverse Dom.
That's you pulling a Dom, yeah. That's you pulling
That's a
Dom. I got him though.
That's called Domism.
A Domism. I agree. I think I pulled the reverse Dom. Dom. That's part of the Domism. It was great.
Actually, all kidding aside, Marco, I think you were the first one to post a comic book when it happened before all the other stuff came out. So you had the book up in the.
I can't look at it. I'm just gonna look.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
All I know is that. There's an op-ed at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna cover.
That Marco maybe put in an op-ed at the end of today's news that he's gonna have to explain, but he probably entirely forgot that he sent it to me earlier in the week. So.
Oh, okay. I probably did. I also. Hey, we also got something that's on Dom's Christmas wanted list, and it's on IG. We'll put that too.
I think I lost already. More from the kids and Skeleton Crew, man. I'm telling you, what's going on.
All right. GTK Comics, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Yep.
I'm sorry, dude. I gotta maybe get some cough drops or something. Wookiee Fanatic, happy Sunday. Hi, everyone. I'm definitely wasn't the worst. I'm the Wayseeker. Wait, I'm with Wayseeker. It was decent. The audio novel. Okay. Oh. We're talking about the audio novel. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much that audio novel is gonna hit. Hey, look, also too, it was great to have some Star Wars comic books hit back at the CBSI top 10. We're gonna talk about those two, maybe add in a couple other things. And show something very interesting, not in the comic book market, someplace outside the comic book market. So hopefully you guys, you're down to look at that. Right?
That, very interesting news that happened during the week, which is going to be interesting because I am very intrigued and happy at the same friggin' time.
What is he talking about?
I don't know.
I'm talking about the.
All right, well, let's get to the news. We'll figure out. Hey, Ed.
In the news.
Yeah, say hi for the admiral. I think Dom's. Hold on. No, time out. This is a fucking Christmas miracle. Dom, at this point, didn't pull a Domism.
I know what he's talking about.
But hold on. He didn't pull a Domism in chat and then proceeded, on top of that, to not give away a news story. And his camera fixed right there, dude. Like, it is definitely Christmas.
Can we change this to Dom salad? Because it really needs to be Dom salad.
We can make it work.
We need like hamburger in it. And
it definitely fits Marco sometimes too. I kind of like it. I haven't figured out how to control that button. I need to figure it out for Marco.
We need to figure out what a Dom salad is. Dom salad is hamburger and IHOP, and I don't know what else it would be.
You know what?
Hey, if you're not follow Dom. He's doing those pictures of the stuff spray painted around New York. They're pretty funny, dude.
Yo, listen, I tell you what, the friggin' burger is 2 pancakes with a burger in the middle.
Sticks. Get the
Donut
freaking, get the
With,
hamster going,
syrup,
Sticks.
right? You want some maple syrup on it too, right?
Yo, peanut butter, baby. Peanut butter.
Nutella, maybe some Nutella.
As I throw up in my mouth, let's go with the dude. All right. We got the real Chris and Jack. All right. What do we got, Chris and Jack?
So surprisingly, there wasn't much in the way of Skeleton Crew, but there was 2 interesting things that dropped. If you're like one of those behind the scenes, like see how they made it type of people, there's going to be a documentary kind of dropping on Disney Plus, of course. And we also got a lengthy interview actually on StarWars.com where they kind of explain how they went over the production design and how they made the different stuff.
You want to talk about word salad? This thing is always word salad. These productions.
It's always word salad, but there was interesting bits in here. They explain like what they used the volume for, and then what they didn't, and how like Port Borgo was like practical effects versus like a lot of the planetary stuff was. And they also talked about using Unreal 3 engine the first time to build in kind of realistic
Cool
parts of the planet and stuff. So it's interesting kind of discussion if you like that type of thing.
I might watch that. What, they already came out?
I don't know if the documentary's out yet, but the interview's up on StarWars.com.
I'll probably. I mean, I'm going to be draining all night long. I'm not going to be sleeping, so I'll be watching that. That sounds good. All right, Dom, will you watch this?
Yes, I would, because I'm telling you, man. After this 3rd episode, I'm freaking hooked. I love this show. I do. It's
nice.
It's fun. It's fun, and it's great. And I want to see the what went into it to make it. I like these things.
Sweet. All right, cool. I know you do. You're kind of crazy like that because you always talk about like the costume designs and stuff like that. Plus, it's probably pretty short, like 15 minutes, so your attention span's fine with that.
Yep, exactly.
All right, what else we got, JJ? Oh wait, I got to move it, huh?
I can move it.
Hey, there's my boy Neil. Neil, what up, Neil? What up?
There wasn't really much news in Skeleton Crew, but there was a lot of speculation in Skeleton Crew. Everybody's trying to figure out the timeline and what they mean by Old Republic. We'll get into it probably more in the review part of it, but there was a lot of interesting stuff came up that built a lot of questions. So,
can I ask you just one of these questions right off the bat, and we don't have to get too far into it, but we probably are because that's what we do on this show. Hey, so like the 4 planets, are they the actual names of the 4 planets, or are they names of other planets that might be original planets that aren't the planets that we know because the planets that they named aren't the planets that are in, like they're not
know
in.
that. We don't know that.
That's the word salad right there.
That's what I'm saying. But like the names of the planets that they saw on this map aren't names that we've heard before. Remember they called it the original.
There was familiar names and there wasn't familiar names, but yeah.
All right.
But the ones we saw were supposed to be kind of what they call
the original
jewels,
6 or 8 or the jewels, whatever.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Well, that's the thing we got to figure out. But the whole, like KJ talking about the Old Republic.
What's up, Kingdom of Nerds?
That the situation with the Old Republic, the timeline, how it spans. But there's some interesting tidbits if you really look deep when in the ship itself. The ship SM 33. There's like specific hats that are actually pirate hats in the friggin' ship. I don't know. It was just
dude. Somebody told me, I was at the con, and somebody told me their favorite part about this was that there's a reference to the Peter Pan like dorky pirate guy. Mm-hmm. Said that's what you like about. Look, bro. I'm just telling you, like if that. It's refreshing. If that's what you like, I'm not gonna criticize it. I'm like, wait, what? They go like, I was like, no, I mean, like, I don't remember. It's not like I'm some huge Peter Pan. I mean, Wayseeker, I imagine growing up was an enormous Peter Pan fan, right? But like myself, maybe saw it once.
Are you
I couldn't between that and fucking Mary Poppins. I probably would screw up.
What are you trying to say about people who like Peter Pan? Unpack it for me.
No, I'm just saying, like, it seems like your type of thing.
But what does my type of thing mean?
Blue bears that nobody else likes? Like,
you're trying to say Peter Pan and Nubs are equivalent?
I did.
I gotta say one thing.
I will, but I actually do remember something about Peter Pan. I did actually see it one time. There was a play, and there was this kid, and they put it on there, and they made our school go to it, and the kid fell off. Like they went to fly the kid, and the kid fell off and ended up falling. I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah, I can say one thing about Peter
Pan. I
Pan.
found it funny, but fell down in there. The hospital had to come, like the ER had to come, and they had to take it out. So I never saw the end of Peter Pan because Peter Pan ended up on a cart, and all I know that it wasn't a boy, it was a girl. And then they said, yeah, that's because this girl always played Peter Pan. They're like, well, damn, that girl fell from a long place, and I got detention at the age of 8 years old.
Where's the word salad logo? How do I use it?
Yeah, that's word salad.
It's that word salad.
That's all I know about Peter Pan. That's all I'm saying.
Tell you one thing.
She fell from the sky. She did not own heart because she was alive, I think. I don't know because I was 8.
Listen, I can tell you this one thing about Peter Pan.
Nah.
If I had a choice between Nubs and Tinkerbell, I'll take Tinkerbell over Nubs any friggin' day.
That's
Fair.
creepy. Pause.
Creepy,
Very
but
creepy.
fair.
I mean, yeah.
Every day.
That
What
sucks.
kind of lightsaber? What's wrong with you, Dub?
I don't care.
There is like, I don't know, dude. Like my daughter,
I like Tinkerbell.
I didn't know that they made Tinkerbells in like all different sizes. You know what I mean? But they do because she has her own show apparently.
You know that at Disney World, in order to
Yeah, creepy.
Play-
That was creepy, dude. That's
in order to
creepy.
play, like they had the. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it's old now. I think they took it away, but they used to have like the World of Tinkerbell thing, where there'd be like several versions of her or whatever. But like there was a height.
That's what.
Like,
Thank you. That's what I was
maximum.
saying. Yeah.
There was a height maximum. Like you couldn't be like taller than like the girls couldn't be like taller than like 5'2" or something like to play Tinkerbell. Same fun Disney World fact.
We're gonna get some Blue Bear news. I hope coming up here.
Oh,
So.
please
Unfortunately,
don't.
we do just
Jesus
one
Christ.
story.
He slammed the shit out of us with that in the chat.
Hey, Uncle Fester. No.
Hey, his eyes got fixed. What happened?
So this is
This
not
guy's ruggedly handsome.
This is
Dude.
not Colin. It's not Colin Farrell's body double in The Penguin. This is Johnny Boy.
Jesus. Jesus.
He's back to play the Jedi Shadow Council member that we are not Jedi, sorry, the Imperial Shadow Council member that we saw, and apparently we will come back to play that in Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie.
Wow, this is not helping me be more excited for this movie at all. Like,
No.
the Shadow Council was not good.
We're back to
They
that
were
part
good.
of
that was one of the better parts of Mando season 3.
intriguing.
Hold on. I mean, it has a great concept. It does have a great
Execution
concept.
is another.
Hey, BK, I gotta say it. I hate to agree with this guy. I do appreciate what he did for the tax show, so I guess I gotta give him props. I hate to agree with him, but yes, it is true. Every member of Skeleton Crew would crush Wayseeker.
Yes,
Not to
they
mention Neo would fuck Wayseeker up, like just straight up and down.
He'll beat you with his trunk.
Oh, dude, he beat the trunk off you. All right,
But
Good
no,
job.
the Shadow Council was not that good in it.
dude,
No.
it's a good,
Everything
it's a
they
good
did
concept though. It's a good. Shut
It's a fine
stop.
concept, but it's has not been done anything
Bro.
with. And it was
This
a
was-
waste of time.
To me, this was just more like this is more Dave Filoni distraction method of like, let me put some little tidbits of uninteresting news out there about something I'm working on, so you guys won't forget about me.
Yeah, probably. Well, they did a little bit more of that too, like some good distracting that we'll talk about hopefully a little bit. But
I
Yeah.
mean,
and it definitely wasn't fucking awards for nothing. Can we stop giving
Yeah,
medals?
let's do
Can we stop giving adult medals for no reason? Can we please just stop doing that?
no.
Well, look,
Can't.
this is kind of look. It may not be everybody's cup of tea with this, but I think it's pretty cool. You know, the shadow. Look, you have to build upon. You know the.
I can't look at that guy's fucking eyes anymore. They're creeping
I
me
know
out.
this way he took the picture. Whoever took the damn picture there like that. God damn it!
Don't look at me.
Kind of looks like
I
Dom's
see
internet
stuff
right now.
on the
to be
internet,
honest.
man.
It does.
Internet.
Hey, no, it does. You look like the guy in the Shadow Council, like in the fucking hologram, bro.
I don't.
Chat.
All right.
Hey, chat.
Tell Dom is in
Let's
this.
move on to the more slightly exciting. and
Here it
casting
is. Here it
announcement.
is.
I don't know why this is so exciting for people, but apparently Marco's super excited that the star of the TV show The Bear, Jeremy, was it Alan? What's his
I
name?
don't give a shit about that. What are you talking about?
I don't know. You're apparently
Some guy
excited
named
about
the
Road to the
Bear?
Hut?
I don't care about the bear.
You just care about the hut. I know.
Yeah.
When I
care
saw
about
this,
Goku.
when I saw this, I thought of Marco
You
in a heartbeat because
Yeah.
Marco waited
Look at you, Dom.
2008. Since his first appearance, he showed up.
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, I think Wayseeker made fun of me for liking this character before. Like, literally has made fun of me for like Jesus.
Hey,
Literally has
internet
made
flow.
fun of me.
What the hell?
Stop giving him a hard time.
You can't help it.
Dude, just don't look at him.
He looks like he's an angel in a Christmas program.
Fucking Wayseeker, knock it off or you're getting muted. All right. I just love this character. I think it's great. I like all the Hutt storyline. I think it's one story. Like the Hutts are something they could have always expanded better on. And they always start to get into it and they never go anyplace. We haven't heard much of him since he's been gone. We did get that one hyperspace book out. We'll catch that back up. But like, I actually think like I was talking to somebody at a con about like what Marvel and X-Men should do with some of their off characters. And I said, yeah, they should do it like how Star Wars does, the Jedi and the Sith things, the little shorts that they do, where they give these little short stories. And I think they should do that with some of the other like species and everything else. So like we get Hutt species and we get little stories with the Hutts and everything else. So to have him come through, I mean, there's plenty of possibilities with what they could do with them. But like the link with Ahsoka, I think Dave's gonna fumble that bag and screw this whole fucking thing up.
Now,
so
listen,
I'm excited. Not
I'm telling you this. When like a lot of people don't. Okay, you don't like the Book of Boba Fett, but the Hutts coming in, that was kind of badass. And you had the Hutts.
I agree.
So definitely I like that, and I like the fact that it's about time they bring his son in because now he's going to be against the Republic because they killed Leia killed his father. Another thing, you bring in
never
freaking Stinky here, the bounty hunters. Boba Fett could be Boba Fett.
I was waiting.
Yes.
JJ,
Boba Fett. That's what he's trying to do. Oh, I didn't know he's trying to link Boba Fett. I can understand Cad Bane, bring Cad Bane back and shit, but Boba Fett.
He's in the same hut. They're in the
Boba
same
Fett
hut that we saw on the TV show. So don't be like.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. For Deadly Venom, I don't give. I mean, this isn't this dude from what's that show? Shameless.
No, the bear.
No, this dude's from the Shameless show, ain't he? He's one of the kids.
He's on the bear right now, which is the
look,
right now.
And if you see, there's one part about this in the story when they were referring to him, he's going to be ripped. So you're going to have Stinky like the big friggin' bodybuilder.
He's not playing. What?
Yes.
You think he's getting in a costume?
No, they're saying. Well, the whole fact is,
you think it's going to be like fucking
this guy's
Halloween?
not getting in a costume, Dom.
He's going to be ripped like what's the name? The friggin' in the comic book.
Grona the Hutt, the guy that punches Luke in the fucking noggin.
Yep, that is. They said that
Dilla or whatever fuck's name is. So, yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
They say Stinky is going to be ripped, or this
Stinky.
I thought you said the actor's ripped.
No, not the act. No, they said it's going to be he's not going to be fat like his dad.
Who said these things?
I can't do it with him trying to say stuff and look at him because
you can't do it. But what? It was just who said these things? Who is they?
In the interview with this.
They said he's going to be ripped in the interview. I did not see that.
Well, read up, Wayseeker.
In the right when they were talking about this, they said that he's going to Jabba the Hutt's son. This and that. He's going to be ripped, and I'm like, yeah, he's going to see a bodybuilding Hutt. You're going to finally get in the movies. That's interesting. Stop it, see them nerds. Go on the interview. Go the written interview on him coming in. You'll see.
I'll look this up.
I only saw the Variety article. The Variety article did get Dom super excited because it had one sentence in there that was like, oh, his son implies that the Hutts are still around, which could bring back Fennec Shand and Boba Fett and blah, blah, blah. So it was literally one sentence. I didn't see the thing about ripped, but I didn't quite.
Hey, I have no doubt, though. Hey, slow down. I have no doubt that, I don't know if this means it, but I have no doubt that at one point, those two characters will be showing up.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the movie, though.
I don't know about the movie.
This movie is going to be a train wreck.
Yeah, I know, because they're going to throw everything in like the fucking kitchen sink, dude.
And it's only 90 minutes. It's not even 8 episodes.
Dude, get it. They're just going to throw fucking everything
in. The first
he's going to have fucking Boss in this bitch. He's going to have like, Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, obviously Sabine. He'll probably bring those daughters and throw them in somehow. Who else?
Even though if it's 90 minutes or whatever it is, it's still going to be better than season 3. I can tell you that.
No, Dom. It's
season
not.
3 is good, Dom.
Yes.
Season 3 was good.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Season 2 was the greatest.
So it was award season. So we got a whole bunch of Star Wars actors got nominated for Golden Globe Awards, none of which were in Star Wars shows. Obi-Wan and his wife both star in a show there. Was married. She plays Hera, if you're unaware. And we got nominations for both of them.
All these two, they're married. These two people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his wife.
Yeah, Diego Luna got nominated for another show that was not a Star Wars show. So a lot of good actors in Star Wars not nominated for their work in Star Wars.
Huh. Well, keeping it good, I guess.
Yeah. And Mark Thompson, who does do a lot of Star Wars work, won an award, a Voice Arts Award for narrating an audio novel, which is probably not his good work, but I appreciate that he finally won something because this guy's done Star Wars novels going all the way back into Legends, like in the mid-90s. Has done the narration work.
So they just gave him an award to give him an award.
I don't know anything about the Voice Arts Award, to be honest, but I'm kind of happy he got an award. He got recognition.
If I recall, this one, it wasn't that good. But it could have been the writing.
No, this one wasn't great. It had its moments, but overall, not the best.
Yeah. If Wayseeker says a book has its moments, but it's not the best, that means the book was trash, dude. Like, let's translate. Oh, speaking of trash.
Right, hey, is it great?
So 4 nominations, mind you, not wins. Which we'll get to it in the next article. For Young Jedi Adventures, including Nubs here. One of them was an award category I didn't even know existed, which was voice directing. I'm not sure how that works, but I guess you
just got to give them an award. Made it up. They paid for them to make up an award.
I've never heard of voice. I've heard of directing animation before, but I've never heard of voice directing. So
there's one Star Wars show that wins awards, and that's this one.
Yeah, the one that's got stuff at Ollie's and nobody's buying.
It will. It will win.
This period, all these guys are going to die horrible deaths when the time comes. So don't worry about it.
Mr. Appleman, Wayseeker's so happy. And I'll tell you, though, like, if you go to your local Ollie's, some of you can find Transformers, some of you can't. You can find some stuff. The one thing you're guaranteed to trip over is this blue bear. He's all fuck over the place.
Well, all kidding aside, there's a lot of sales all over the place between Ross and Ollie's and stuff like that. Also, Amazon. We can talk about that later. There's a lot of good deals when it comes to Star Wars stuff. So, if you later on, we can talk.
You're looking.
Speaking of things that didn't win awards and nobody's happy with, Star Wars Outlaws released a new patch, and it was nominated for, I believe, 4 awards at the Game Awards and struck out completely. Didn't win anything. So.
There was a lot of speculation that we were going to get a trailer for Star Wars clips, but
yeah, I think that's way too far. I still think that project's dying slowly somewhere. But yeah. So there was some interesting Lucasfilm stuff though. They did have a Harrison Ford show up, which was kind of interesting, and they had a big award given to the guy that played Indiana Jones and stuff in the.
Oh yeah,
the new Indiana Jones.
Harrison Ford.
Lucasfilm Games did well, but Star Wars.
I don't know if he's still alive. I heard him talking about that while I was saying about the thing. Jesus,
look at the sticks. Put down. He goes, how many times did Wade Seeger vote for this? Who's Wade Seeger? I know he says Wade Seeger, but Wade Seeger.
Is that related to Bob Seeger?
Yeah, Bob Seeger.
That's Wayseeker's. That's Rob Liefeld was to draw a comic book character of Wayseeker. It would be called Wade Seeger. It would look just like him.
Best character ever.
Listen, all kidding aside, really think about the game, Outlaws. It would have been really good if it was Dr. Afra. A character.
The game would not have been really good because the game.
No, I think that would. You know what? I'll be honest with you, Dom. I think that would have ruined. That's actually glad that they didn't make it Dr. Afra, because if they did, it would have ruined the character.
You don't want your character in bad stuff.
Yeah, I know, but
average at least.
I think they have to with the games now reevaluate, because this game should have won a lot more awards, should have sold a lot more, this and that, and just.
Let's games. Hold on though. If you were listening, let's hold on, JJ, because now if we want to talk about games, let's talk about what happened at that award show. They did come out and they're starting a donation center where it's trying to get even almost like a unionized thing going, where these people will find jobs somehow that will pay a ton less, because they had said this time right now is the biggest time ever of the most people laid off from gaming designs. And a lot of these studios, the guy who said it
the guy who said it said, hey, look, a lot of these studios are cutting costs by cutting designers, and then people are wondering why the games aren't good.
Having a strike doesn't work very well either. In your
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but that's what he said. I mean, the guy, and I would take somebody who's a part of that industry saying, because I've heard it before with other stuff, because before being so busy that I can't do anything again because COVID's completely opened up, I would play some games and I'd watch some stuff on gaming, and you would see people talk about the studios and coming, and you're like, whatever, man. How many programmers do you need? And you saw that stuff with Activision and whatever else. And now it seems like game after game just isn't quite living up to the hype of what it should.
You're right, Marco. You're definitely right, man. The layoffs, the game could have been a lot better if you had the right people.
Yeah, there you go.
Could have
Game Awards for
this developer. Let's be clear.
Go check out Kingdom of Nerds. I think he did something on the game thing or something, some commentary on it.
This developer had to rush this game for lots of reasons, financial reasons.
Right, I get it, but like, dude, rushing it sometimes, if you have like, when I plan out a work site, I plan out the front load heavy, so that I overschedule, so that if I have to rush the back end, I already have the majority of the hard work done up front. If you get the right programmers in place, it sets it up for your budget to be easier at the back end. For you, you can cut budget, you can cut the length, or you can extend it depending on what you need to do. And if you're not getting the workers in place at the beginning, at the get-go, because you're starting off cheap and you're trying to cut it down, when it's time to get the work done, there's not going to be anybody there, and then you're running out of time, and you're like, hey, we got to push this piece of shit out. And that's what sounds happened. Sorry, still a little sick. That's what it sounds like happened. There you go. So
I don't know if I agree. I think they realized.
You can disagree all you want.
Ubisoft,
you're anti-worker. I got it.
Not true. Ubisoft was in a bad place where they're about to fail. And they needed to put out something.
It's also hard. It's hard for AAA games to work. The budgets are bigger than ever. The time frames are shorter.
Yeah.
The release schedules are tighter. You have a constant flow of very popular, sometimes indie games that come out.
Plus, you have to somehow get all those microtransactions in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of AAA games that fail nowadays. It's kind of like the movie industry, It's like where there used to be $1 billion movies several times a year. Maybe there's like a couple now. The AAA games industry is the same way.
But here you go. I mean, I just want to, I think it's getting to a point where we're going to have to accept the fact that this is how gaming is nowadays. You're going to pay $65, $70 to get mediocrity, and you can either do it or just not do it. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you for Disney Venoms.
Speaking of games, though, and stuff that is a little bit different, Star Wars Genesis is a big hit this week. Which you're asking, what is Star Wars Genesis? Well, there's a game called Starfield, which is a popular PC and Xbox game. It kind of lets you explore a galaxy and everything. And basically, there was cobbled together about 250 different mods and things went into this kind of design.
Really?
Designed like a Star Wars universe for that game. So
this isn't VR. This looks like VR.
Nope.
Oh, this looks cool.
A bunch of mods.
Really? No shit.
Getting really good press. So hopefully they don't strip it out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. We also got a cover to the Acolyte visual guide, which no one will care about or read because Pablo Hidalgo is irrelevant now. But
yep. It doesn't matter if you got story group if you don't listen to the story group.
Yeah. But apparently it's due out in June of next year. So get a cover of the mask.
Will Pablo explain how he had a job at one point that was important and now he's
I don't know if that. Maybe we'll get a visual demonstration of how his.
Actually, can't wait for this mask to come out.
Marginalized.
Oh, this mask?
Yeah, coming out.
What's up, Parrot Chef?
In the spring of next year. So.
I gotta say, that was this was kind of because for some reason every single time somebody brought up the Skeleton Crew this weekend, at the con, they also brought up this thing and said it could have been good if they just did something. Yeah. They weren't saying it was bad. They're like, it could have been good if they just did something. It didn't do anything. There wasn't anything there. And it's yeah, that's just that comment there was one of the things that somebody said that. And I was like, man, they're kind of right. It's not really whatever the witches doing the dance thing, whatever, stupid, but who cares? It wasn't that bad. They had some cool concepts, but it just nothing landed. Like
to me, that was kind of it. It almost had too much going on.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's why I'm worried about that movie.
Sometimes you have an A and a B story kind of, and at some point those kind of intersect, which is kind of what they had here. But there was also other stuff going into, and I don't know, it's everything.
But that's kind of what I was worried about.
Came up with didn't tie together very well.
That's kind of how I see the like movie with the Mando, whatever.
Mando Grogu.
Yeah, Mando Grogu movie is like he's just gonna throw a bunch of stuff in there, and then people are gonna be like, cool, and then it's like, But we'll see. Hey, man, we'll see too, because we'll see if the hype gets real. Because, like I said, 2 books hit the top 10 list this week, and it was like it's literally because somebody mentioned a name in a fucking TV show, and another one came with an interview, which it hit both ends. And like, when was the last time Star Wars, quote unquote, first appearances made any pull in? Like, it's been over a year.
Wasn't it Thrawn when they mentioned Thrawn's name? At the
but it didn't. You know what? That book was going down. It stopped Thrawn from going down.
Books, yeah, and some of those books got so high that I don't know that they could have gone up. Like it's like you know.
I'm kind of excited for this book. I know I'm the only one. I'll buy it. I buy all these books, but I always do like how they give information, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get some information about what season 2 was going to be actually about.
I don't know if it'll be season 2, but I'm willing to bet, because I was about to second what you're saying, because in a lot of these books they end up finishing off, at least if it's an end of a season or whatever, they give you like this probably, this is the concept of why we did this, which is not giving
thing
you
to me. Like, so we still have novels and stuff that are set to come out. I think there's one due out in May for basically this storyline, but it's covering characters that died, like in the middle of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think if like you're going to do that, like if you kind of wanted this thing to continue forward, why not give us like a novel of what the second season would have been, or like
yeah.
Well, maybe they're still planning that. I don't know, but
I don't know.
One of the ones that did the best with this is Rogue One. Because Rogue One had, before it came out, it had, what was it? Shattered Stars?
Empire.
What?
Empire.
No.
Lost Stars?
Yeah, is Lost Stars? Is that the novel that came out before the lead-in?
The Claudia Gray one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Claudia Gray? It was.
Lost Stars was just
Lost Stars. Was it Lost Stars?
Which was the book? Somebody tell me what the book was.
I can't think of what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
They did a good job leading in. And then when Rogue One finished, they had a good job, like with a sub, like in between the novel and some other stuff, and they did a great job with it. And like, I think if they do this with Acolyte, they might be able to salvage some. I'm not saying they're going to be able to salvage Acolytes. I'm not saying that. They might be able to salvage some of the stuff, like maybe this mask out of the Acolyte. Maybe they'll be able to salvage, Darth Plagueis out of it. They might be able to salvage something out of it.
Vernestra Rose character.
I mean, that's the whole point of the book that they're going to do. The Vernestra book. Well, I'm looking forward to the Vernestra book because I want to see how.
But it's a prequel, right? It's all taking place.
It's the Wayseeker book. Yeah, it's before.
Well, the whole thing when it comes is they asked him
That's
about.
What I'm saying. Like,
they asked him about who is he, and he said he goes, I can't mention who he is. So basically, there could be something that's coming out later on that they don't want to ruin who his character is, what Darth character he
I
played.
mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they do it like that, like if they do it like the Rogue One style, even though it's a failure, like Rogue One wasn't, but if they do it like that, I think let's just hope. I mean, I just gotta hope that it'll save it, because like you and Venom, like you and Venom just said, like this mask is cool as fuck. I don't care what you say. It's cool as shit, man. It's dope. They had some dope shit in there.
I want to see how little you'll be able to see out of it if you put it on.
Yeah,
you gotta take like a picture from inside the mask.
Yeah, no, it's gonna Hey, it'll have like a reflective thing on the inside where it like almost shoots a screen to a bigger one, like mirrors or something to that effect. Like you're looking through one of those kids.
Well, you have to look, because there is no eyes in the real mask. You don't see anything in the real mask. What they say is blind.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to give. I don't know. Cosmic One.
No, he's not wrong. The visual guides end up.
Maybe, but I don't know. This mask was the hottest thing.
Not the mask. He's talking about the visual guides. They end up at Ollie's. He's right.
Yeah.
Cosmic One's right. They end up at They do. They end up at Ollie's. Yes.
Wayseeker's the only one to buy them.
Yeah, he buys them for full price. Maybe he'd buy one for full price one time, never again.
All
Wait,
right, Marco.
Here we go.
This is the thing that Marco sent to me in the middle of the week that he probably totally forgot about. That I had to include this op-ed about, I guess, the Sith are going away or something. I don't know.
No, okay. So this is what the op-ed said, and I think it's not a bad idea because of Skeleton Crew and like some of the other stuff like Andor. Like, it's not the Sith that it's not really saying that we need to get away from the like Sith, right? It's saying that like we don't always have to have a Sith character in every like there doesn't have to be this mysterious Plagueis behind or Sith character behind everything in Star Wars. And I don't think that's wrong. Like I don't. I think that you could have the Marchion Rose not be a Sith character. I think you could have like in this one, whoever the main bad guy is, which we haven't found out yet. It looks like the pirate crew. Let the pirate crew be the bad guys. You know what I mean? Like, you don't always have to have Darth Vader. You don't always have to have Darth Maul. You don't have to have Sidious. I don't know how that person's alive, but he's alive. You don't have to have him alive.
Palpatine returns.
Yeah, Palpatine returns. Whatever the fuck that line's so terrible, but you don't need to have that line. What's up, Vassrod? I know people like Sith, and there's a place for the Sith in here, just like there's a place for the Jedi here. But like, it doesn't always have to be Jedi versus Sith. It doesn't. And sometimes, by the way, the opposite's true. We don't need the fucking Jedi and everything. We don't need like we could just have a story about the fucking Sith that doesn't involve them trying to hunt down Jedi. That doesn't involve that. We can have Planet of the Sith. We can just have that. We don't need.
I think they're slowly leaning that way. I mean, you look at things like well, not even just the Skeleton Crew, but look at Ahsoka. For instance, there's no Sith in Ahsoka, really, at least in the direct storyline. I mean, they even took a painstaking way of explaining to you that Balin and Shin were not Sith. Mm-hmm. They called them false Jedi the entire the word.
Yeah, Sith but that's Sith adjacent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but my point is, at least in the first season,
fair.
The villain is Thrawn, and the witches. It's not.
And see, and I like
which is fine.
In fact, when it comes to Star Wars, the scoundrels, the pirates, the bounty hunters, the underworld. That's what I love about Star Wars. And you can do stories without.
And I will say. Go ahead. Sorry, Dom. Go. I'm sorry.
I said you could do stories without the Sith and Jedi involved, and have a really good crime story. Have a good friggin' like the Skeleton Crew about pirates. There's so many different things you could do.
There was that High Republic one where they did it. It was a short. It was like 6 series. And it wasn't it wasn't awesome with Emery, the Jedi Emery or whatever. But like, and they had the lady that played the piano and everything else. But it was a good enough of a setup where you could have done something like that, and it would have been good.
I think the one place we see it too much is comics.
Yeah.
Why we always got to go back to the Sith in comics?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Look at that long run of Afra. You had the whole.
Just wait.
Sour spark thing in her chest. But like, why did that have to be tied back into ancient Sith? Like you don't.
Dude, just wait because if you didn't see the promo pages of that demo thing that's coming out this year with Moma's freaking helmet in it.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, but I mean, my point is like, just create compelling villains.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what we want in the end. It's just a compelling, good villain. You don't need it to be a Sith.
I think we see good Sith stories. We see bad Sith stories. We see good non-Sith stories. We see Book of Boba Fett, which is bad non-Sith stories where there's no Sith in that one. I mean, all you need is good stories. That's the key.
Yeah, but they do seem. I mean, the point of it is, and I know the inside of the op-ed was a little bit, in JJ's defense, a little bit of word salad. But the point behind it was that, like, we can't, like you said there's good and bad stories, which are true, but we can have good stories that don't have to go, and the dark side of the Force. You don't even have to mention the dark side of the Force. You don't have to mention it. You could you could do Star Wars stories, like Dom said, Forceless. You don't need good side. You don't need to. We all get it. There's a good side. There's a dark side. There's Mandalorian clouds or
presence looming.
Macalorian clouds.
Yeah, another good example is new Thrawn novels. That's on.
Yeah.
You can have the presence.
The only Sith in those is Sidious, who's the Emperor, and that's not even really
Vader too. They had Anakin Vader.
But but it's not. Yeah. It's not like he's battling with those Sith. They aren't the villains of the story necessarily. At least yet.
You see, the best thing about the High Republic is the Nihil, which it's really cool, their backstory and who they are. And if they can put that stuff in stuff now that's happening now, like the pirates and stuff like that have some kind of a connection. It doesn't have to be about Sith and Jedi. You can have Force powers. Everybody, the Force wheels for everybody, as everybody says. The whole fact is that you can use it different ways. It don't have to be a Jedi, and like you said, and like JJ said about Balin and Shinhati, that they're not Sith. They're in between. It's not a gray Jedi, but all these new concepts now. You can get away from that, and you can do a bounty hunter like Mandalorian War. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do besides Sith and Jedi.
Yeah, I don't mind those Mando. And but also too, like, I think what the article was saying, and it got lost in the word salad, is that's not saying don't have Sith and don't have Force users. It's saying you can have stories specifically just with one form of the Force. It doesn't always have to be, hey, the good guy's the Jedi, the bad guy's the Sith, and if the good guy goes too side to dark, he turns to Sith. Like we've heard that story 100 times over. Stop repeating. Stop doing the try thing where it's like the try. Like a lot of stuff is done in the try.
They always have to be tied back together. You can have
right,
separate or whatever.
And I agree. I mean, I think it'll be better. Like when you watch. I mean, yeah, sure, Ahsoka, fucking getting eaten by a saber-toothed tiger or whatever the hell is going on there was kind of stupid, but like, some of the other stuff was decent.
You think we'll get in Skeleton Crew?
What? A saber-toothed tiger?
No, Sith.
No. I
No.
hope they don't.
I hope not either. I hope
You know
not.
what?
I'm just asking the question.
I hope, like, after watching last week's episode and just really going over through it, Wave Seeker made some sense. Wave Seeker made some sense going into the show and what he was saying about certain aspects of it. That it could be something different. Yes, you have Sith writing on the walls and stuff like that are going on, and they're a thing because think about it, the Sith have been around for friggin' 25,000 years, whatever you want.
Yeah, thousands.
As long as everything's been around, yeah.
And you have all these different Easter eggs and stuff like that. But you can have other things that really come out that, like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming type of thing. Because remember, like, there's different aspects to Star Wars, and it's a huge universe, and they could be like, now if Skeleton Crew is,
I got one for you.
What happened?
What happens if Jude Law? What happens if his character isn't a Jedi or a Sith?
That's
I don't
good.
think he is.
I think he's
Nobody
just
thinks he is.
I
Nobody
think he has the
But I think
Force.
that works. I think that's good. I think that works.
He's just a Force user.
Yeah.
He's a Force user. I think he has the Force, but other than that, he's not a Jedi. I want to see what his backstory is, which is really cool.
We don't even know he's technically a Force user yet. But yeah.
Like,
I mean, we kind of
at
do.
the end of the day, I don't
How
think
do
he's
you
a
do that?
trickster. I don't think he's a trickster like what's his name, the guy from Obi-Wan. His character, what he was doing with magnets and stuff like that. I think
he makes things sound on the other side.
Yeah.
Here's
Here's what I'm going to say about this too, though, and this is just kind of the thought process that I have. Like, once again, sorry, I got the con crud. I'm just a little slow today, but I think if you leave the Sith off for a while, the fervor for Sith to finally show up makes that pop bigger.
exactly.
One of the things I was talking about too this weekend with people was like that Luke pop kind of slowed down and talking about the beginning scene of this, and I was like, yeah, it was Rogue One and it was whatever, but they didn't have a Sith there, which it's still, you knew it was Rogue One. Like, you knew it was the first scene in New Hope. Like, it was the exact same scene. And they're like, well, it wasn't really because Vader didn't, but it was. It was that scene. Like, and you could do scenes differently, and you don't have to have Darth Vader walk down the hall every time. You don't have to see the red lightsaber. So,
like I said,
what's up, Grogu?
The present looms of the Sith and the Jedi. It's there, and if you can go have them just
there you
presence, it makes it a lot intriguing and a lot more.
John,
like you said, the pop when it does eventually happen. So
he's just trying to be Jod. That's all he's trying to do. He's got his hood up.
trying to be Jod. He's got the Boba Fett hoodie on.
Widow's Peak, like,
I mean,
Jude Law.
I agree with you, but at the same time, if you're going to have Jedi, you have to have something that is equivalent to the Jedi, right?
Well, that's the rogue thing.
Most pirates, let's be clear, Jedi should be able to just crush pirates like they're nothing. So you got.
Well, hold on, because they have the more. Can we get back to Jedi having like an actual moral background every once in a while instead of just like cutting people in half and then turning to the dark side, or leaving the Force altogether, or shaving your head and turning to a green lizard lady. Like, there should be a point where, like, okay, we could do this, but we're going to screw up because we're a little bit arrogant or whatever the situation is. And they don't see it coming because they're too focused on doing something else. That's an okay storyline. They don't have to be the marshals of the universe. Remember, in the original storylines, they weren't supposed to be the marshals of the universe. They were supposed to be a sect of religious people that eventually started to be the marshals. So, like, why can't we tell those stories? You know what I mean? They don't have to be like, I'm going to go out and kill pirates.
Well, look, think about this. You had the Jedi versus you had the Mandalorian wars when the Mandalorians fought the Jedi. There was no Sith there. It was just the Mandalorians versus the Jedi. So you had it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dom.
You know,
hell yeah. I mean,
it made sense. Like Jedi's can kill anybody, but the Mandalorians gave them a freaking fight.
Yeah, 100 people against one is going to be tough, no matter how tough you are.
But at the end of the day, there's other stories you could tell. And like I said, with the High Republic and the Nihil, with the Jedi, that showed a different side instead of a Dark Force user. You had, so
I mean, he kind of used some Force stuff, but
yeah.
All right.
I think that was it. I don't think I had any. Yeah, that was it. Let's see the news.
Nice.
In the news.
Marco loves to leave right as news is ending when he's up next. It's like every week he's got this news segment. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna leave right away.
It's funny how much you have to stretch for news now too. Like
Well, it's kind of funny how
I was doing the news articles. I put those castings on here. I'm like I remember the days when with a casting that was like actually exciting, not like the guy's coming back as Jedi Shadow Council member number 8 or whatever.
But you know what? Listen, it's interesting because we're gonna see. Like I said, they're gonna pump up. Wait the Star Wars Celebration when they start pumping up the Mando movie, and you get an actual trailer for the Mando movie. You know, it's gonna look. Like I said,
there's announcements to come. I'm not worried about it. It's kind of slow right now.
I don't look. I'm happy. Look, I'm very happy of what we're getting. And look, at the end of the day, too, of all the backlash and all the heat that Star Wars has been getting, I think the news is you take the news and embrace what's going on, because it's very rare you find a really good piece of news story that's going to happen. They're going to hold it and they'll bring it out eventually. And the little tidbits that they drop, you take with a grain of salt.
Sometimes no news is good news, right?
Yeah, exactly. Too. You know,
like even with Skeleton Crew going on right now, there's not like a lot of news around it. I mean,
I tell you what,
groundbreaking news.
A lot of positive news towards it.
Yeah,
you know, people are invested. The characters are intriguing. The characters, I'm invested. People are liking it. You know, and like I said, it's something familiar but something new, which is a great.
And they. We'll probably get into it more in the review part of it, but they put in a lot of familiarity that's not Star Wars familiarity. So.
Yeah. Let's start. Look,
which is
they
nice.
started putting a lot of familiarity in the Mando when friggin' you had guys wearing friggin' sweaters. Actual like
that's a little too much familiarity. I mean, it's like callbacks to things like ET or something like that.
I know, but you know what's funny? It's just really cool. You know, I kind of like it's having a show that makes you excited every week to see. And like I said, after this week, a lot of questions, man. There's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, since this is being very successful, this show so far, that season 2 might be around the corner if it really does.
I don't know how successful it actually is going to be. I mean, people I don't know. We'll see what ratings are, Dom. Until we see what ratings are.
I mean, if it gets a season 2, though, be prepared for a very long wait.
Yeah, I know.
I think even the creators acknowledge that. They're like, we can't have it in a deal where kids are, because it probably won't hit the air for 4 years or something. You can't have, the kids trying to be the same age, like it's taking place right after anything. So
they said at the time jump, the kids are going to be older. So so we'll see. Like I said. Let's just take it now.
I actually like the kid actors. I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah. Well, they can use the same actors, but they just have to throw the time forward because they're going to age, obviously. So,
All right. Oh yeah. All right. Well, that was news. Thank you for that. Sorry about that. All right. Let's talk about comics this week. Oh, shoot. I forgot to edit it. Dude, the comic wasn't terrible, even though it had like the boring part in the beginning with Mom Martha. You know what I'm saying.
I like how he,
Yeah.
I like how he stole Spawn's cape to put on his Imperial outfit.
Yeah, right.
He did. He did the
everywhere.
backstabbing thing I didn't see good. But once again, the eyes really, I was going to put it in here to show you for the people that forgot. The eyes in this book are just dead baby creepy, like doll eyes. And it's even on Valance. It works actually on Valance. It works on Valance because like his teeth also sparkle for some reason on the metal side, which is kind of cool. But like overall, wow, those eyes are creepy. And they kind of short-ended. I don't know how you felt about this book, Wayseeker, but didn't you feel they kind of short-ended the story to like this is almost a half-ass filler book? Like they were doing those like cross corner panels with just 4 words on it, looking at Luke's big ass blue eyes, and then Leia's fucking big ass eyes, and then like that could have been one fucking panel, bro.
I think the downside is they tried to make it 3-4 issues instead of just
the 3 things again. Yeah,
just make it one series. And if it's 10 issues, it's 10 issues. But I feel like they really did want to hit this formula.
They stretched it out too far here.
They stretched out the last one too. I think the last one we talked about too. The 4th book was the weakest book. And I just feel like they had a certain amount of weeks they had to fill, and they stretched out this one. But that's okay. It's a great series. If you're gonna have a comic miss every once in a while, you're gonna have a comic miss every once in a while.
It's still good. I think the art. I mean, no disrespect to this artist, it's creepy as fuck. I think there's other. I'm sorry. It is. Come on, man. You guys don't. As soon as I say it,
is it creepier than Dom's loving of Tinkerbell?
No,
on
hey,
par.
listen.
On par.
Hey, listen. Tinkerbell over Nubs any day. I'm telling you. That's it.
I get. That's okay for you to say it. Like it's
like you
actually
said,
kind of not okay either. Wait, hold on. It's not okay to say that either.
It fits in certain scenarios. Like I get it on Balance, where like he's cybernetic and kind of he's kind of supposed to have like dead eyes or whatever. But like, why then do the completely human characters have the same dead eye?
And why are you doing like for those that didn't watch it, like this? You're not getting the hairline, right? You're only getting like this. You're getting this, and they extend it out, so you're literally just.
I explained that in chat. No,
put that in chat. Put it up.
No, I'm not doing it.
Put it up.
Bro, John, no, we're not
doing it.
Dom, I think Dom, don't do that. We're trying to help you out here. You could say Tinkerbell's the better character. Stop with this weird stuff about talking about little, like, no. All right.
I think I watched the wrong Peter Pan. I'm sorry.
You probably did. All right. Next week. Hey, Dom, here, I got you on this.
I'm making it worse. I don't know why you're watching that stuff.
What's
wrong with you? Like, searching the internet for the wrong Peter Pan.
Okay. Can we stop talking about midget porn for a little bit and focus on One Piece real quickly, please? All right. Or little people porn. Is it called little people porn now? I don't know.
Maybe it's because I hated that part of the series, but am I the only one that hates that middle cover for Ezra's like mime Jedi thing?
I hate it. Hey, but here's what I got to give Dom. Here's what I got to give Dom because he's going to say he loves it. I like the 125. I'm actually going to try to get it.
I don't dislike the 125. I'm just saying the one in the middle there. I hated that moment of the show, and therefore I kind of hate the.
And I have a love-hate with that moment in the show too. It could have been better done in a better way. Look. You have to accept what the show is. It
is a wonderful world.
I hate it more
blazing out into the sky.
I hate it more because they undid it like one episode later, where it's like I don't need a lightsaber, and then like one episode later he's using a lightsaber.
Like, building one. Yeah, but you know what? Look, like it is what it.
Yeah,
I'm learning to accept the series of what it is. Yeah, Water Bounty Hunters. I have every issue. I do. I accepted what this series is, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing what happens, man. Like I said,
I am too. Like, I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm saying there's some, but the problem is there's some junk thrown in there.
Yeah.
And if you could give somebody a movie and to throw junk in a movie, like the junk was kind of spread out because this was serial, but like, I'm worried because if you throw all that junk in a movie, that's a lot of junk to watch in an hour and a half.
My thing that pissed me off that they should have waited on Sabine's force powers. They should have waited on that for something bigger, like a movie, not just throw it in the series like you hinting towards. I would have waited. And
I don't think Sabine's big enough of a character for anybody to care about in a movie. Like we care about because we watch Rebels and Star Wars, but like most people who go and see Star Wars movies,
you can argue that, but like Sabine was
that. Sabine was the best part of the show.
Yeah,
but she was.
I'm just saying most people that aren't.
Hold on, let JJ go. Let JJ go. Let him cook.
I was about to say Sabine got the most character development in the show out of anybody.
No, she did, but I still think that it was
as far as stars of the show, quote unquote. I would say Sabine was almost
forced.
a star,
and that's no pun intended. I think the
Ahsoka just sat there like this the whole time.
I know, but you know, like I said, like I understand what Dave was trying to do. You know, the people who knew about Ezra and Sabine had a friendly moment when they reunited. That whole part,
reunited.
They could have did so much better. They could have been a better plot on that.
I agree. I agree.
It's kind of hollow, yeah.
I mean, I will tell you though, with all the mistakes that this show made, it's still, I mean, Fat Thrawn, Aladdin Ezra, like, you know, they still, that big wolf fucking creature that she's riding right there looking stupid as hell. Like, they still, and the zombie troopers, which was kind of dumb.
I like that. The zombie
what about the dude? What about the Ghost Inquisitor, the guy that's not there?
I don't know what you said, Marco. Finish what you're saying.
What?
What are you gonna say about?
But I was gonna say it's actually pretty decent. Like besides all that shit.
No, this show was not decent. This show was like a step above Book of Boba Fett. It was trash.
Wow. Now who starts negativity?
One day, just say something positive about the Book of Boba Fett. One day.
Just because you choose some shitty ass character that went to fucking Ollies and nobody likes.
The story sucked. The vampire ghost things are stupid. There was nothing about this show.
When I was reviewing the show, and the only guy that was there.
Yes, there was. Yeah, there was.
There was nothing good. Thrawn was horrible.
Thrawn. You know what? Listen,
there was good concepts, but everything was
kind of all the time.
Thrawn. Listen, Thrawn wasn't.
Sabine stuff wasn't horrible. Slow the fuck down.
Look, Thrawn wasn't horrible.
I like how we're rehashing
people looked at his friggin' weight more than anything else. He was gone for 10 friggin' years. He was off at a distant planet for 10 friggin' years. You don't think the bastard ate? Come on.
What was he eating? Fucking ho-hos and fucking mayonnaise? Like, okay, number two.
He had turtle soup and wolf. So
yeah, I mean, I get it, man. I put on a little weight too. I mean, more than a little bit, but I'm a Greek. I'm supposed to be in middle age, like fat and hairy. Like this dude's supposed to be skinny. Like
I think the problem is along the lines of
he lives in the middle of a new galaxy with nothing to do. How's he even eating any food? He should be hungry and starving.
Yeah, there's a lot of zombies around.
The best part of the show, freaking goddamn Balin and freaking Shahadi. I love their character arcs. I love the Mortis gods, the Mortis god situation.
This is what it said.
No,
those open worlds made no sense.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. There wasn't. First off, there was no World of Worlds. He still hasn't said that yet.
World Between Worlds.
Review.
That was the World Between Worlds.
125 is good.
The whole time they go to Corellia, the whole ship.
Next up, the books that may be in your bookstore may not be in the bookstore. I don't know if anybody's going to care. Wait, does one of our friends make one of these book covers? Is that why I'm showing them?
Yes. Is it the wedding spectacular?
Yes, the wedding spectacular. So support Cheryl.
Just have Wayseeker say it.
Thank you. Support Cheryl. She does the wedding one, and then you don't actually have to read the fucking book. Okay, like you don't have to read it, but buy the book anyways. I did get to see the inside of some of these books.
Zion Keen, Pirate Commander.
I mean, I tried to maybe dispatch the wedding spectacular inside is fucking toilet paper, and I don't know which. This is like to try to see which one can out toilet paper each other because they've really ruined that Star Wars High Republic Adventure series.
I like Zyle. Zyle's one of I like Zyle. I'm excited for Zyle because I thought they were one of the cooler characters.
So there you go. I mean, so if you like Blue Bears, you might think it's okay, but if you don't,
hate everything I like because of.
No, not just that. Your opinions in general suck.
My thing, I don't dislike the character, but again, we roll around to this thing. We've had this discussion before, and I was going to wait for the audiobook to bring it up, but I'll bring it up now. start ending the thing, please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
Start
That's a good
working
critique.
towards the ending.
That's a fine critique.
I actually with that audiobook, I thought they
giving me new
I,
characters.
dude,
I
no,
also
hold on.
don't care
Hold on. Hold
that
on.
a
Can I say
kid's
something about
comic
the
isn't
audiobook?
working towards an ending.
What's that?
I also don't care that the kid's comic isn't working towards the main ending because it's a kid's comic. Like I don't have the high expectations.
Yeah, but why are
that
we
this is
throwing in
gonna
a
drag
wedding
the story
special?
to the end.
But
We
you
couldn't
know,
even get our
you know
books
now
out,
there's gonna
dude.
be like, you know, now there's gonna be some young adult novel with Zyle Kim in it that like I needed to learn more about him because he's a new character. Like I don't need that. Like start wrapping it up.
We
No
already
more
have
new
the
characters.
style,
I
so
agree.
he's got-
Agreed.
They've got
Agreed.
the book.
Can I also say this about it? I thought that I thought they were actually going to short an ending. I was like, holy shit, they've extended this too long in that audiobook, and then they came to the ending. I was like, wait a minute, are they just gonna fucking end something right here? And they didn't. They did exactly what they punted it down the fucking road.
Well,
So
we knew they were doing a comic.
I
Again,
do
we can
want to
talk
see
about
more
the book.
Emmerich though.
But no, I mean, I think there's some good comics that are coming out, and I know that
everybody
you like-
but Wayseeker because they don't hate life is enjoying this Ewok series. So
nobody is enjoying except for you. Dom's not reading it. Let's be clear. Dom's never picked up one of these books.
he did. He picked up one. He said it was okay.
I've not read.
Dom hasn't bought a Star Wars book.
I've not
in
bothered
6
to
months.
read issue 2 or 3.
Dom's not opening
Okay.
his mouth because he knows he
Who
hasn't read
gives a
Star Wars
shit?
book in 6 months.
Okay. I enjoy this book. It's nice. It's fun. It's not
that's
too
more like it.
complicated. It's a good book. It's better than this dog shit. Any of these dog shit books here. So, FOC, we got the here it comes Legacy of Vader.
I'm waiting for this. Man.
That's the 1 in 100. There is. I didn't put the like non version of that. They have a
That's
non
pretty
version
cool.
version of 1 in 100. They have an A cover. They got a B cover. They got a C cover. We're gonna get the fucking mother. We're gonna get what's his
First
name?
appearance of
Athian
Harley
Prime.
First appearance of him on the cover.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned him. Good job, Dom. Yep. We got to find a better way to do that bit where I can just go. And who's on the cover here, Dom? Like I do with the one where it's like, what's the first appearance? We'll do it. We'll
I'm
figure it
gonna
out.
say first appearance.
And then
That's
who's on the
right.
cover on the right one?
We've only
And
been
you get-
trying for 3 years.
Friggin' you have what's his name?
I put the name right on top so you can fucking say it, Dom.
Alea Prime. I'm
Okay.
sorry, man. I can't see. I'm blind, man. Rewind. My
All
That is really
Oh,
fucking
it's all right,
small.
it's all right.
I
It
didn't see
is-
it.
it is ridiculously
I
small.
forget I watch it on a TV. I do all the work
No,
on a TV.
My
so-
internet's going in and out. I can't see.
No, there you go, Dom. There you go. This was last week's Bad Batch shit, so we didn't do any of that. And we'll
Bad
talk
Batch
about
book-
the other.
The bad back.
Yeah, I
book
know.
is,
My slides are fucked up, dude. I told you, I fucking. Not to mention, like, I had church, I had a soccer tournament today, I had a bunch of shit going on, bro. So, like, I didn't get to. Plus, I was sick. We'll
Did you-
cover this stuff in a little
I'm
bit.
sorry. The Legacy, the Star Wars Legacy is coming out. I
Yeah.
sent you something that you have Valance talking to Andor. So Andor is in the Legacy book, which connects to the Andor series.
That legacy book's a fucking mess, bro.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's interesting because, you know, look, all kidding aside, I know that Tony Gilroy friggin', you know, the way he does his Star Wars stuff.
Mm.
It could be a chance that Valance gets a name drop in Andor. You know, you don't know when it gets closer to
Yeah, we'll
the
see.
Rogue One series. I'm just saying.
We'll see. Scott's right on this. For people that don't understand, Dark Horse, you never know what you're gonna get. If it's gonna come, if it's not gonna come. If you're
I
gonna
think
get it,
2025 they're gonna revamp that whole thing. We're gonna get more stories like the Bad Batch.
2025, they're gonna revamp Dark Horse by just shutting the fucking doors down and giving it back to IDW or what?
Bring the license
Yeah,
out of
Drums
there.
to fire.
They got
Shit,
like
you know
3
what?
more years.
You know what'd be cool?
3
You know
more
what'd
years
really
by
be
contract
cool
with it.
is if they ended up giving it to fucking Image, and then you got like Skybound took it over or some shit.
Yeah,
I would like
I
it.
don't know.
Like
I
if they
think-
did with Transformers and GI Joe, I'm down with that.
I know. I mean,
2028.
but you see, it's different. I don't think that.
Give
They
it to
would do
Boom,
that.
and we can have 28 covers every issue.
Yeah, right. Boom, or Boom, or friggin' Dynamite.
Jesus.
No,
Nah, you know
don't
what?
give it to
Actually,
Boo.
I wouldn't mind Skybound taking over.
That Valance. Excuse your mouth, John.
He
Excuse
doesn't
your
suck,
mouth, sir.
Balance.
I like that.
Look, let me tell you
Thank
something. There is no Cable. There is no
They kind of
Terminator.
ruined his
Without
his
balance.
comic, but
I think you're overestimating Valance there.
No, he's exactly right. Liefeld stole fucking Valiance from stole Cable from Valance. He's 100% correct.
And Terminator.
So Terminator,
all those cyborg type of things.
Terminator 2 he's a Terminator.
What?
Hey, would you just give him what he gets fucking right and not what he gets wrong? What the fuck's wrong with you? It's Christmas, Wayseeker, you asshole.
That's it,
You
man.
know how I feel about Christmas?
Huh?
You know how I feel about Christmas?
Yeah, you fucking are terrible, bro.
Just-
Like who hates
Yeah, I'm
Christmas?
telling you, man. I'm telling you, you got Scrooge,
I'm listening to you, Dom.
the Grinch, Wayseeker. Yeah, the Scrooge. Friggin',
No, leave it at that. Leave it
Grinch.
at that. Dom,
You
don't
friggin',
make it
what's
worse.
the thing called? The Krampus, and then fucking Wayseeker.
Oh, Krampus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
Krampus
he's
taught
above
people the
Krampus.
spirit of
This guy.
goodwill in the end.
What can you do?
The Grinch
I don't know.
grew 3 sizes.
All right. Where the fuck did toys go? Oh shit. Where did
you lose
toys
it?
go? Huh?
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, where just keep talking about Krampus again so I can run this toy thing.
Nah, I'm just saying.
This
Like,
show's gone off the
later
rails
on, we're
3
gonna talk
hours
about
ago.
name drop.
So
Name drops, which name drops sometimes can shoot a book.
That's what I'm
up.
saying. Like, I don't know. Well, we could talk about we can go through it. Then let's fucking go through it. So this week on the top 10, that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
We saw Rotu. We've already talked about him right now. Rotu had a pretty decent week. This book, the minute it came out, I sent it. I did. I started sending the minute they dropped. I started sending the A cover. I probably should have sent the B cover too. You could probably actually still find the B cover out there, but I was sending the A cover to everybody I could send it to, going like, "Hey, remember this? I have like a half a stack someplace. You guys should probably go grab some because I think we're gonna finally get this little fucker." And then all of a sudden it started taking off. Pete, what did Pete say here? 10 to 15. Man, I can't see shit.
10 to
anymore.
15 as high as 25.
Okay, there we go. Not sure big role will be. Dude, it doesn't matter though. Like this, and we're gonna hit this up a little bit later about how popular this character was. Like, dude, the figure I should have probably pulled up the action figure too that had him in the backpack. They made a backpack that has him,
Yep.
like a stuffy
They
backpack.
did,
They did all this shit with them, and we'll cover something a little bit later. The B cover though, $7 to $4. It's starting to creep back down to $4. I don't quite think people understand because a lot of times the list was just showing the A cover, so people don't understand what's going on. But the B cover, it's not like you're getting Jabba in both, right? You're not getting that much difference. So the A and B cover shouldn't be that much of a difference between the two. I actually think the B cover is more availably found because this is also hyper stories where people are like, it was like the point where they weren't. They're probably ordering one for every 3 instead of 50-50 splits. Combo for this, $24.99. Don't go out there pay $24.99 for combo. This book should still be like about cover price. You can get this book for cover price. You could might be able to sneak one of these for cover price, the A cover.
This thing will be $1 in 6 months.
Depends on how well, we'll see.
Nobody's
We'll
gonna
see.
remember it 6 months from now. It might go up again when the movie comes out, maybe. But
I'll be honest, if this stays in the $7 range, $8 range, maybe 10 at the highest till the movie, then gets pushed up to like a $30 book, it'll be a $10 book forever. It just will be. That's what it's going to be. Which is where it should be.
Now. You gotta get it graded.
Which is where it should. It should be a $10 book. I don't know if I'd get it graded. The next one, Cousin Crimson Jack. There's 2 books tied to this. This is the one, Jude Law's character. He didn't say anything about it. A 9.8 for $200, which is still really cheap. You know what's very funny is the one thing that was going on at the con today, there's this dude that came up and he was looking for raw books that he felt were 9.2s or higher. Going for the first 10 of these, like the run for the first 10.
Really?
Also, too, I don't think he knew how to grade a 9.2, but that's just between me and you. Anyway, Star Wars 7. Legacy does also have this version of him, the red-headed, big-breasted one.
So he's actually alive in the present, in the timeline. So it's kind of weird with the Jude Law's character taking his name.
What?
So
Star Wars has already talked about this. Let's wait for what
I know.
they say.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But either way, so I decided to look up 9.2s because it was funny that at the con the guy was asking for 9.2s. So 9.2s actually was one of the more volume movers in this Star Wars 7s this week at $85 to $90.
Is there the 30? Is there the variant price variant on this too as well?
It doesn't go up to 7, does it? Wayseeker only goes up to. Does it go up to 6? That's what it is, right? 6. It's one
I
book.
think
before.
maybe it's just 5. Yeah, it's either 5 or 6.
It's
5
just
or
the
6.
6th part for the original trilogy, the original New Hope.
They switched the price. Once they switched the price variant doesn't happen.
Okay.
Ridiculous wait times when what book came out?
A hiatus. It was just a break. Remember they had like that,
Oh.
like 3 months between.
Oh
issues?
yeah. That's right.
So nobody bought any of them.
Oh, you're talking about this one over here.
So I mean, so has the price dropped off since like Friday when Star Wars clarified?
It has. It's gone back. You're not at $25. You're back down to like on this book. What?
Sorry where's the cover with him on the cover?
It's the A and the B cover.
I know.
You mean-
he was on the.
Jack, like 12 or whatever it was, whatever issue.
Here.
All right.
Oh, I don't put first cover.
First
like
covers doesn't
First cover
matter.
period. It's the only periods that he has in the comics
who?
on the cover.
Oh, but it's Dom. That I mean, that's just not. I mean, like that's a $1 book.
This is
Oh, I'm
not
just-
big enough. It's not big enough of a character. Nobody's specking on a first cover of Crimson Jack.
You know what?
Of Crimson Jack? Yeah, no, absolutely
No,
not.
no. I'm talking
He's talking
about
about Rotu.
Stinky.
Stinky,
What are you
what
talking
covers he been on?
Yeah, what cover?
He was on the cover. He was on the cover issue. One of the covers.
No.
Yes.
Was he?
Yes.
Well,
Must
if
have
he
been
was,
later.
I mean, it's
Walker
not. Yeah,
has
it's like,
These are the only two covers
No,
that he
Walker has it.
oh no, that's not a fucking comic. That's a book. It's like one of those comic books, like the fucking thing.
Wait. Hold on.
He might have been on like a Clone Wars cover.
Yeah,
Whatever. Those
yeah,
don't
he's on
count.
Clone Wars cover. Yeah.
Those don't
Yeah.
count, Dom.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, nobody cares about. I mean, those are like $5-10 books. Anyways, now I forgot completely what the. So this book, if you're just buying the A cover, it's sitting at that $10 to $12 mark. So it's right in between. This is $12 is probably the average after the news came out and the back end of the week. You could get these for $12 to $13. I think it'll go back to $10 bucks. You'll be able to pick it up. Yeah, I don't know. He got me confused too. I think he is talking about a Clone Wars. You know, they made those Clone Wars scholar books, like they're for kids. They're like the
Yeah.
the one that people say was the first Cody and shit like that. Yeah, that's what he's saying about. All right, but I also, because one of our friends loved this, I decided to put in something that was in one of Trey's top 10s, the Star Wars Darth Maul Sons of Dathomir TPD 2000 to 2014 Dark Horse Comics. Give us a little different flavor. I have something else after this too. El Trejo had said, this is the guy who started the CBSI top 10 list, just for those people, actually CBSI in general. Nearing $200 and a complete sale, 184, the highest he's seen. There's the sketch cover for all the other stuff, but this is actually the trade paperback. Currently, Raws are selling for $23 to $60, and we know why that is. A Wayseeker, correct?
So I mean, this thing's been reprinted so many times. So the first print is the one that is the most expensive one.
Yeah. So you got to make sure you get the first print, but it's between $23 and $60, depending on the condition.
The other ones are all reprinted by Marvel. So you
But
want to see the ones that as printed by Dark Horse. That's the only one that's the first print. That's the only one that's worth anything. So Marvel's reprinted this. I think it's on the 7th printing now. So it just got.
But if you're there and there, still look through these little things underneath people's thing. Underneath, did I just say things 3 times in a row?
You did.
Okay. Yeah, just look underneath people's tables, and if you don't see the Marvel crescent on it, probably worth buying for a couple of bucks. All right.
Oh no!
Now what?
Well, here it actually Star Wars issue 5.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Sure.
you're right. He's right. I have this. Go ahead, do it again. Yeah, but that's just his cover. I mean, like, put it up.
Oh, hey, it's the cover. Hold on.
I think I just started giving away some of those this weekend too.
Yeah, that Clone Wars cover. Yeah.
Yeah, the Clone Wars cover. Yeah. I
Check
mean, I
out-
like it.
check out
I mean,
your-
that's
check
why I
out
bought a
Tom's
bunch of them.
eBay
Huh?
store.
Star Wars
You got,
5. What?
you got something in your cart. Check out.
No, I have no. That's
Don't
something
tell
that's
him to
been
do
there for a
that.
while.
Don't tell him to do that. He's gonna be broke.
What are you talking about? That's actually been there for a long time. Yeah.
Well, Dom, here you go. So to add toys,
right here.
the actual first appearance of Stinky wasn't even in the show. It was on this leaked version of this Star Wars figure box. 2008 Lego Star Wars, the Clone Wars, ATTE. These things are ridiculously still priced.
Yep.
They redid them. They remade it, didn't they?
I
There's
think
a new version.
They made one with Rexes, but it's different.
Yeah, they made a Rex one with a bunch of clones out of it. But
Yeah.
this one's still in box, going from 310 to 440, depending on how it is sealed. But dude, the raws with this, with the books, in pieces, are still in the 120s to like all 200s. And if you put it together, and you sell it together with the minifigs, it's in the 200s all day, like mid twos. So
also wasn't there was a regular vintage figure too that came out for the Clone Wars that had her with the backpack. You're right. Ahsoka. Wasn't there?
well,
a-
this is all I was talking about was the first appearance of it.
The first,
Like, this is the first overall. Yeah.
Well, toy wise, I think. But Stinky has a couple little things. So
Dom, we gotta give you an espresso or something, buddy. You're losing your speed. All right, but speaking of toys, that's gonna get us right into Dom's toy section. Dom, go ahead.
all right, so we have a few Andor Funko Pops that are coming out. It's kind of funny.
Mhm.
Andor season 2 is showing up in the next couple of months, and they're just dropping season 1, which they're pretty cool. I like Minerva. I like
Who's the person? Why is there?
That's
Huh?
Luthen with the hood, and what's his name?
Oh, dude, I thought that was black hair. Okay.
No, that's Luthen at the hood. He had the hood on, and that's was it Andor's
Mon
mom
Mothma?
with the hologram. Which
Thank
is,
God nobody ever said these things were cool.
Well, you know what? It is what it is. I like the Andor and what's his face? The Andy Serkis.
These aren't the first ones from Andor, are they?
No, I think Andor had 2. Had an
Okay, so-
Andor and
I
the
wonder if
robot.
there's no Mon Mothma or Bix or like other.
Yeah.
Nah, they don't have.
Mom.
They don't have a mix.
No, the mom that's the first appearance of the mom in the Funko Pop, which is the hologram. This dropped T3 M4 Legends on the Funko Shop. It's still there.
Yeah, nice Old Republic, baby.
Yeah.
There you go, Knights of the Old Republic. Who's
Exactly.
droid was that again? Wasn't that
It's Revens.
Yep.
In the game.
Was it?
I mean, you acquire them in the game.
Oh, yeah,
so-
you know what I was thinking? Oh, that wasn't a fucking
Well, if you like the
droid. That
droids-
was its walkie.
If you like the
Zalby
droids
or whatever.
you can get the
Anyway,
droids.
go
Which is kind of cool.
Zalbar.
Oh, the
Okay.
Wookiee? Yeah, you're thinking
Yeah.
of the Wookiee, yeah. Yeah.
So they came out a 2-pack Black Series, Shadows of the Empire, Princess Leia,
This
and
actually looks
Luke,
not bad.
and Luke in the Crimson Guard. which
Hey,
is-
I'll tell you this: shit gets to Ollie's. I might actually buy this.
hey, look, I love the fact they're making more Shadows of the Empire figures, man. And now the 6-inch ones, the Black Series, I love that. So, Heir to the Empire is getting 3 figures. In the
This is the
vintage series.
worst. Hey, this just tells you that vintage is like a fuck you line. Like this is the figure they're giving you 3 figures, and one of them is Captain.
It's
Nobody
Boy,
gives
he's
a fuck
very
about
important.
Steve.
He's in Shadow.
Mara Jade, Thrawn.
Listen, I know Mara Jade, but they had Mara Jade in the 4-pack
Yeah,
that
it's-
came out recently. Look,
It doesn't matter. You
he-
put these in
he
single
is-
packs. You
He's
should
very
put-
important because he's in the shadow. The
collect
shadow.
them. We know.
We understand that, but if you're giving me 3 characters from Heir to the Empire, this
Bro,
is not one of them.
Yeah, nobody wants mustache McFun bags here. All right,
Everybody
dude.
loves their friggin' Empire
That's not
officers, man. Come on, man. The Imperial officers. Come on, let's go.
What?
So we're getting.
Oh
I like how
my
they
fucking
choked
god! This is what we're doing.
Yeah,
Really?
Getting him. We're getting God, Jesus.
Hey.
Ross Booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we want Sea Booth in
Crazy ass
this one, dude.
Jedi. Yeah.
Yes.
A wizard, Jedi, old crazy dude.
Yeah.
Sea Booth.
And we're getting it at Thrawn again with the. So
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
like
I
this
guess he
Thrawn.
does have a point. How many times are we gonna get Thrawn? Yeah,
Now
but
they're
once
gonna be
again,
banging out
this is
Thrawn
my
a lot
best
now
to hate
because
you.
he's amazing. He's a character that he came back. So I actually like this. I like the artwork. I like
Yep.
the way this looks. I would definitely get this figure. Just this figure.
This one's cool.
This
The other
actually is
one's
a
no.
decent
But
version.
where's
yeah.
Mara Jade? Where's Rook?
I want Mara Jade. You're talking about a Mara Jade fan that they slap a guy.
All right, well, that's it for toys.
Toys.
We killed
Toys.
toys. Nice, dude. We'll get out of here a reasonable hour before I go fucking blind because my eyes are just
You
weeping.
got a book and a Shoda. We already
Oh,
got a reasonable
fuck me.
hour.
Let's do the let's talk about I mean, people want it. We caught 20 in the chat still. And fuck it, we lost 10 people just going over toys, but they're probably waiting for this. We'll talk about the review. We should get an intro for this.
Yeah, need to make an intro slide or something. But so we start off our opening intro this week was the parents. So we got to finally see KB's parents. Get a better look at Neil's mom. Yeah. We kind of saw like way off in the distance in the first episode.
This right here.
And not pictured as Fern's mom also was there, but
Yeah, for
the picture. But it's fun. We get the discussion here. To me, the most interesting thing was the fact that when he comes in, and I think everybody expected the security droid or whatever to say, like, "Oh yeah, like you're we know what happened. Your kids are gone, and nobody cares," type of thing. But the most interesting line was the fact that when Wim's dad asked, well, what's the supervisor? Is the supervisor going to contact the Republic authorities? The security droid's response was like, because it was a violation of whatever, it would be deemed too much of a security risk or something to contact the Republic.
Well, did you find it ironic that while that was happening, they had that they did have the not stained glass, maybe it was stained glass. Stained glass starts with an M in the background.
Yeah,
and it literally was all the species are the same. And while the robot, they only showed it while the robot was talking. But when the robot came into the room to talk to say that the creator or whatever, and then that's when they actually panned and you could see all these, that they had a species like Neo, they had like other humanoid species, and there was like the Jesus Christ type character in there. Like,
well, you know what's
funny? You notice that they only showed that Jesus Christ character when the robot said something to the effect of like
But I was going to say
they call the person
you said about that picture in the background, the mosaic picture. Doesn't that remind you of the Morris God's freaking picture as well too? The way it's drawn.
No.
The way.
No. Remind more of the Prime Jedi thing.
Is that what they said on your Maz video?
No. I actually, when I seen it, I was like, oh, that looks like the look.
Oh, fair.
My fun
videos. I watched.
My little fun little Easter egg from this one was actually the security droid, which reminded me a lot of in the Old Republic game. You had these obviously the body is different and it looks a little more updated.
I thought that was on Borderlands.
No, you had these. This was a Mandalorian patrol droid or something like that had basically a camera for a head. So that's kind of what the security droid on the show reminded me of.
So you know what's funny? I'm actually looking at the fact that the supervisor might be a robot from the Old Republic, kind of like Ajax. Ajax.
We're doing the droid. We're doing the droid Grata. Nice.
Could be.
I don't know.
I mean, you don't know.
The dog droids. Maybe there's something in the dog droids that has something to do with this.
No.
Too.
I think
whoever it
is clearly uses droids to run the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, everything seems to be. I know they have analysts and systems.
What if it's Captain Jack that does that?
Crimson Jack.
Jack. But then he would know everything about the planet. Why would he have to?
Captain Jack is Billy Joel.
That's a different one. The real one.
The real one.
Oh, the real Crimson Jack. I don't know.
Nah, I doubt that.
I thought the acting in this scene was horrible. The parents were so unbelievable with their kids being gone, and it was painful.
It was what it was.
Dude, they're
actually. I thought.
Hold on.
Wim's dad was pretty authentic, kind of like the
he's
denial
concerned.
Or this can't be happening kind of thing. But yeah.
So I don't know. Listen, you're right. When you talked about the cult with the droids in the beginning, Wave Seeker, I give you that. And stuff like that. The planet is looking like droids are running that planet, and the supervisor's an old droid that
Wizard of droid.
Who knows? But anyway.
Oh, dude.
Anyway,
yeah.
so we after that short scene, we moved back off planet to Port Borgo here, and we got our first big callback. Of course, is John and Nana Wood or whatever gets to know the kids. The first callback we get to. No, I said John and Wood.
Yeah, I know. Let's just call him
Captain Servo. Salvo. What's it?
Jod. Fine. Jod. The first thing Jod does is he pulls an Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah.
Distracts the guard by making the sound supposedly with the Force.
Yeah.
But
you don't believe it's the Force, huh?
I don't know. I mean, they haven't confirmed or denied it. And he says at one point he didn't say he was. Well, we'll get to that later, I guess. But.
Yeah. Well, he's not a Jedi, but
he's
I don't know
not.
how you pull some of these parlor tricks out. They're not really the Force. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact. What made me laugh when he got out of prison. When they got out of prison. Oh, how come you didn't leave when you had if you're a Jedi?
Yeah,
and we talked about that. We talked about that. How come you didn't leave? Like just funny as a fourth wall type of thing. And he actually mentioned it. He goes, "I had no reason to go. There's nowhere to go off the planet. I have nothing to do."
There's no ship. Yeah, he didn't have a ship until.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
There's some good lines in this. I mean, there really is. It's well written.
And then as they're going, I thought this was a fun little callback. You got basically the Dr. Ball probe story, more or less, that has been revamped by the pirates to patrol the hall or something here. But yeah, also too, there was the interesting fact that
it was also Mouse Droid-esque, right? From the
And Fern calls him out by basically because KB is the one who detects the droid coming or whatever.
Yeah.
So Fern's kind of one. But I think you guys think
Droids have
KB
the
kind of
Force?
detected it because she had weird,
Yes.
Yeah,
Probably.
weird.
And it's
Yeah,
kind of funny what Drew
audio
Lord
thing.
said. What Drew Lord said after that, he goes, "The Force runs through everybody. Everybody has
Yeah.
the Force." So
yeah.
kind of like, yeah.
But it's also a droid. It doesn't have the Force. So
Yeah.
if he's not very attuned to the Force, like, why would he feel a droid?
That's what I thought.
Right.
I was like, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes no sense. Like the kids just don't know how the droid is.
Mhm.
I do
Well, they
like
don't
the
know how
one.
the Force
Well, I
works.
think we're gonna say it before. I think we're gonna say it before. Yeah, because he explains that later on to them, which was kind of funny.
Mhm. Which is actually this scene right here. That was hilarious because she's like, "Aren't the Jedi supposed to not leave any man behind?" And he's like,
It's like
"No,
fucking
they don't
Jedi
say that."
Code. Jedi
You're
don't
actually
say-
right. Throughout all of Jedi and War, they leave a lot of people behind,
All the time,
especially
all
those
the
clones.
all
So,
the fuck. What about the little dude? What about the little dude with one eye that was being tortured forever?
yeah,
left
they
him
leave a lot of
behind.
people behind.
And they definitely leave droids behind. The only person I ever cared about droid was Anakin, and he got in
Yeah.
trouble every time he
Yeah.
cared about a droid.
What did you guys
Yeah,
think
no
about-
attachments. They're not supposed to care.
Well, the whole thing is that he
Like,
didn't
Like
see
literally,
Tokyo.
their
That's why there's an
their
attachment.
mantra is leave every motherfucker. Be a Jedi. Leave every motherfucker behind. That's what their mantra is, dude.
But yeah, I used of course General Krill there because General
Oh
Krill
Jesus!
not only left everybody behind, but did it so they died. more or less.
And he would kill people. Yeah, he just
Yeah,
like euthanize them. Like there you go.
This is funny.
But then when he gets sent to rescue the droid, I thought the droid interactions were hilarious. But also too the fact that he clearly doesn't trust droids as he goes through this whole thing, even
Michael's right.
later on in the episode. But yeah,
Thing is,
but,
did he win?
like the first two he turns on, I thought were hilarious. Did anybody else think the first two he turns on were obviously supposed to be like C-3PO parodies?
Well,
Well,
yeah,
have to
for
rescue
sure,
the
yeah.
princess. Is in
I thought
trouble.
the other one too was supposed to be the one in the shop. Do you remember the shop that when they were in Jabba's palace or something like that when they were working down there? The one pops up and says something, or was it the Jawa Walker? Whatever. Yeah, but I agree. It was great.
Yeah. But yeah, and then of course you get a BT battle droid, which is a parody. Like, did we win the war?
We win. We win.
Yeah. But I thought that was great.
I thought it was great too.
We got a nice little side here. I'm trying to remember his name. Is it Bonjipara or something? Was the
Got the octopus.
yeah, but it's Alfred Molina. So
Alfred Molina.
first acting role was a Lucasfilm in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but as he's rescuing SM-33 here, he runs into an old guy. I thought this was a great interaction because at the end, you obviously have Jaws trying to hey, make sure you don't contact anybody because they're acting all friendly as they kind of greet each other. He's like,
He said,
actually,
"You the greatest
I'm going to
captain-
report you.
You were the greatest captain we ever had. This and that." He goes,
Why do you think
Much
he didn't
better
kill the
than
guy?
movies.
Huh?
We don't
Why do
know
you
that he
think-
didn't kill the guy.
Well, he got reported somehow. They caught him.
Oh, the
They were
guy?
chasing him out, and then they were chasing him. The next thing we
Oh.
saw was in.
Yeah.
So
But he was also dragging a lugly freaking
"Fucking
Yeah.
robot."
robot
You know-
through the.
It's
No, they
kind
didn't
of,
chase him
funny.
out yet. I think that was later, right?
I
No,
have
that was this part. You're right. You're
I
right.
have something about the SM-33, man.
What?
The whole mission is that they crash landed on at Atten.
Yeah.
And he's been there for a long time. Supposedly.
Yes.
And he was Fern was the one that said, "I'm the captain now," this and that, all that stuff.
I'm the captain now.
When he got shut off, he remembered the kids again. He still remembered the kids, but he didn't remember like at Atten when they were talking about at Atten in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? When the kids were talking about at Atten, and he has
Yeah, but he never knew at, and I think that's what
Yeah,
he's
he never
saying.
knew
Like,
what it was.
in his memory banks, there's no at in his memory bank or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just
Why is C-3PO's lower torso on the shelf? over
up here, yeah, in the corner, yeah.
And
Hey,
they've got
actually,
a.
Got
And if
Pinocchio.
you
up
look, they've also got a ceramic kiln in the in too.
there.
I thought
and a
that
grunt
was
droid. He's a
interesting.
grunt droid. Yeah.
It was also interesting that clearly he knows. Obviously,
Bcak.
Port Borgo is kind of their base of operations or whatever, because obviously he knows where he's going. Like he automatically knew
Yeah.
where to go to
Oh, yeah.
find him.
Yeah.
I want to know who
droids
the
would
captain
be
was, the
kept.
original captain. That's my thing. I want to know who the captain was of the ship.
Oh, the one that crashed.
Yeah, the
I
one
think
that
the
crashed.
captain was the guy.
How did we get that?
Well, I'll get to it later, but I think he was the guy that's dead.
I know the guy, but I want to know
Yeah, the
who
guy
he
they.
is. How did he die? What him?
Oh, it was
Oh,
Honda.
yeah,
here's-
we got
here's the
Where's
thing we've been
Waldo
talking about
of
forever.
ships. Yeah,
Right here.
we got the Where's Waldo of ships. Everybody, Hondo Naka's similar looking ship was in there.
No, on the top right it is the disc one.
Yeah, I know.
No,
But-
no, it's right here. The bottom.
Yeah, it's supposed to be right
Right
there
side
on the bottom right.
The bottom right. Yeah.
I should have
Yeah,
circled
it's
it, but I
both.
didn't have time to do it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
top
right.
right, bottom right. They got the
Like
display
I said,
on top right.
it's like
the other.
where's Waldo? Shit.
Yeah.
But it's a common
It's
chip.
everywhere.
So we
Yeah,
we said that
exactly.
before. So
So yeah,
Dom
We
was
don't know
all
that's how it
excited
goes, but
about
yeah,
nothing.
everybody was half the internet at least. was
Listen,
excited.
one time, give me credit.
Hey, shout out for having
I'm
Hunt.
never going to give you credit, Dom. That's
He's gonna
for
give
the
me
Shout out
credit.
Dondo.
So there's your captain, I think.
I know.
Yeah.
The reason I took this one, and I didn't have anything to compare it to. Obviously, this kind of calls back to a lot of pirate things, where the new captain takes the old captain's sword or whatever. But he looks at the dagger or something about it, almost like he knows it or recognizes it. It may just because he likes it, but when he pulls him out of it and he keeps the dagger and everything, I just thought it was an interesting interaction. Does he recognize something about the dagger that tips him off to who this was or something?
What if, and I'm just saying this, what if you guys are kind of right with the thing? It's or Dom is. What if that's why the droid doesn't know because another droid shut him off before they crashed it, stabbed the captain, and then he's in charge. I'm the captain now. Now he's in charge. He got all these because somehow somebody's got to have the ability to build other droids, right? And if you killed the captain, is it the crew that killed the captain? And then,
well, I think so in the first episode, they found the two bodies. There was two bodies. There was the captain
that's right.
on the wall and the other one on the ground. So I don't know if that. And they speculate, they got in a duel. I don't know if the kid was rat-geared or not. But I think Wim was the one that said they died in a duel or something.
At least in Boron, though.
Wynn doesn't know anything. That's his character. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's purposely supposed to be an idiot.
Well, like I said, I don't know. I saw this interaction was interesting.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean? What? It would make perfect sense.
Your word salad explanation.
Yeah.
What?
I was
helping
you thought your theory was bad. So
yeah, your theory was.
I remember.
It's not my theory. You guys said it 2 slides ago. I'm like, oh, that would make sense now. Yeah. What if the droid? Well, Dom said it.
Well, I said.
I'm just fixing his theory.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Wait, before you go to next,
go
that
ahead.
same scene where he picked up the hat, an
Mhm.
actual pirate hat. In Star Wars, where have you seen an actual pirate hat in Star Wars?
I don't know, but what pirates?
Well, we saw it in the first episode too.
I don't. In the first episode,
kind of had a pirate hat. Yeah.
pirates in the Old Republic actually had hats like pirates. If you think about it,
Okay.
But
I'm just saying.
another interesting. The droid interaction was interesting too in this scene. That basically Smeed or SN-33 or whatever doesn't trust him at all, just like the kids don't. But doesn't think he's a Jedi either. I don't think.
No, I'm saying if it was a droid, a protection droid or something like that shut off the other droid, killed the captain, and then kind of was like, "Hey, let's go out here. I'm going to build more droids."
I'm still waiting. Wookiee Fanatic said he was going to back you up this week, Dom, and tell you about how good your theories were. That's what he said next week.
I'm saying. Hey, look, I'm not action rational. I'm just saying some things that can be possible.
I'm saying that I'm with you on this one, Dom. I don't know why John's questioning on us on this one. This is a very solid theory.
So
Planet of the
these were a couple of the more interesting scenes I found, at least this week, where the kids kind of sitting around and discussing. They had one where they sat around and discussed, all the different ways he could not be a Jedi or something like that. And of course, Wim thought he was. And they sat around and kind of discussed the origins of their planet. There's no way it can be a treasure planet or something like that. So boring, this and that. So, but we have to see that.
Dom was definitely wrong because there definitely wasn't a mining operation going on because these kids wouldn't know about it.
Well, we got to see the up close image of some of the credits again. There definitely is a older credit symbol from the Old Republic on one of the credits. You can kind of see it there on the lower right, where his hand is. But yeah,
I have it right here. That credit right there in the middle, it's right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So they don't quite look exactly the same, obviously, but they do have some similar features, such as that one symbol. So interesting little tidbit there.
Interesting.
Well, you know what? Let me ask you a question.
What?
The planet, if it's hidden, right? Could it be hiding the fact that, since those credits look brand new? Do you think that the material that makes those credits is on that planet at Aden?
That could be. I mean, they could have like a
part of the
like
treasure,
smelting,
like a mint. Yeah, a mint.
maybe mint, like like the part of the treasure that they talk about. Like there's two theories that could be that they talk about treasure. Treasure doesn't have to be value. Well, treasure could be.
Go ahead.
I'm saying treasure can also be well-being, a safe space.
You're saying like a metaphorical treasure, kind of.
Yeah, like the fact is that you're away from all the shit that's going on in the universe, in the world, in the universe, and
could be.
You're safe. So it can mean two things, but those credits look a little too brand new. If John
thinks it's the mint, like where they do it. You know what? No, hold on though. But here's the thing. Let's say if you're in an ecosystem that's enclosed, right, and captured, nothing comes in, nothing goes out, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say that you enter into that system at a ratio of 1,000 to 1 parts of what you need, right? It would take a very long time for you to equal out the equivalent of 1-to-1 percentages, especially if your population is at a lower percentage. So, like, if you're adding these, you're thinking about money in the way we do it, where you have paper money or coinage that gets used, damaged, thrown away, and then they have to mint more. But if you have a surplus of like 1,000 to 1, you're not hitting because of whatever the general value of per se coin is.
Way the economics on this one.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying in general, you could hypothetically have dead stock that you haven't gotten to yet.
Well, and two, also.
What? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that was probably too far into it. I don't know. I'm sick, so fuck you. I'm going to talk economics.
He froze. No, but you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but it could be that there's just dead stock.
You're right. Like,
he's got kids, there's dead stock, so you use dead stock, you sub in dead stock, you sub out dead stock. Plus here's another fucking thing it could be. It could be that, you don't want to show scuffed up bullshit on a TV because then nobody can make it out and it doesn't look as cool and you can't sell it as a fucking toy. JJ, you back?
Not
yet.
Nope. Okay.
Next slide.
Yeah, that was his lunch money, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it could be percented out, right? Like, it doesn't mean that it's got to be used.
It's weird. It's weird though that they use this money on this planet.
It is. Well, if you have, but here's the thing: any form of trade for commerce, there has to be a form of trade, right? And if they're all doing technical based jobs, which is what we saw, we didn't see much manual labor, which is usually the trade-off is a technical job for manual labor in some type of form, right? If we don't see that, then you need to have a credited system, not credits, but you have to have something in which you can pass a bonded system related to said work for a later payoff. If you, this is what
I get that, but it's also a planet where like everything is defined for you. You can't leave.
Yeah.
It's not like you can.
But those are the kinds of countries and societies that mint their own currency and don't really allow other currency though.
Yeah, don't allow other currencies in because now you're on a peg system of whatever they say that the good is worth. And when you have that constraint, if you already have a stockpile, you don't need to continuously create new stuff because you can make whatever your current stockpile is pegged towards the economic system in which you're based.
I think one
interesting thing. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Dom.
No, I was going to say on top of that, they're brand new. That's what caught the attention of the pirates.
But that's what I'm saying. Is
it's just
like if you crash in a ship and you stole if you stole a ton of treasure and you crashed in a ship, and let's say there's 20 people on the ship, but you've got 100 million credits in different boxes. You are going to then, if they're doing technically advanced stuff, you can run a schematic of how many credits you need to introduce without running into it. You just make the credited value greater or less depending on how many people the population has. And if you have a population index, which just seems like it does because of how they're controlling everything with the security droid. Like I'm saying, there's a dude at the top so psychopathic that they're not only just planning out what every person tests to do a job, but they're planning out how long this money is going to last, how far a person's going to live, how many people are going to be doing this, that. And
I'm really interested in like what's the point of these jobs. I mean, they even talked about that in this show too.
Yeah, like that was interesting.
Like if the planet is so cut off from the galaxy and it's just self-cycling,
like
what's the point?
Mark, you're right. You're right. The ship that crash landed had this money in the ship. It was a stolen thing from years from wherever. If it was the Old Republic, So they took the money from the ship that crash landed.
Maybe, or maybe it was on the planet.
maybe they're minting it, or maybe they're minting it.
Yeah,
But what I'm also saying though is like, yeah, maybe these jobs aren't. Maybe there isn't a great project. Maybe literally whoever's at the top is giving people false stuff because they have planned this all out, that we're going to have this society, and to keep it going, we know that we have to feed in X amount of money. We know that we have to get these people jobs right off so they don't question, so they don't leave the planet. Whatever the final outcome is, I don't know. But like, it does seem very fucking generic. All this stuff seems very generic and very planned. What?
Look at Grogu's friggin' saying. Look.
Letting on to what he knows. I believe he is. Okay, thank you, Grogu. William's father is not letting on what he knows. I believe he is a real pirate, and the ship that his son found was his ship. Remember when he was looking for his son, he went right to the ship. Didn't he find the helmet or something first?
Well, he found the helmet in the area, but to go in that area, how did he know to go in that particular area?
But his son told him though, right? In the bike, right? He took a shortcut.
Yeah, you want to know how he knew? You want to know how he knew? Because if you wasted fucking 2 shows trying to figure out where the kid was, he'd already be back by the time fucking dad found out.
He got lost, and it was dark out because he missed school. That's how crazy.
It's TV. It's called TV.
Yeah. All right, what do we got next?
So we got a fun little interaction where as Jaw's kind of making his way through the ship at night, KB is the only one left awake, and he basically, asks her like, "Oh, you kind of don't trust me, dude." And she goes on a speech about the odds, kind of the philosophical, fate-filled version of like, "Oh, we'll never tell the odds" type of thing from Jaw. That the odds are never right, and she obviously is still skeptical that he's not really a Jedi. But it was a nice callback to that moment.
I laughed at the scene. I laughed at the fact that when he told Fern to go to sleep, I'm not even tired. Nick,
I like that she's got slicers too.
She's cool with kids, yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, she's got little slicers and stuff. Like,
what's this trust your gut thing? Like, that's clearly like a line he's used over and over again. So, like, what's the point of this line?
I'm telling you. So
instead of saying believe in the Force.
Yeah, exactly. Believe in yourself. Like, exactly. Something like that. Trust your gut.
Trust the Force, because they used to. Who said it? I mean, Star Wars. Trust the Force is something.
I think it's more opposing viewpoints too. Like he's probably made his way through the galaxy being kind of a scoundrel and trusting his gut the whole time. And then you see that later on, we'll kind of see the dichotomy of that from another character who is very much a thinker and not a reactor or whatever. Like
Neil's the shit.
Yeah.
All right,
so, but I like how they grew her character a little bit more because she hardly.
I do, because everybody said they liked this.
Yeah, she hardly talked in the first couple episodes.
I like
really grew her.
Everybody said how much they liked her, and I was like, "What are they talking about? Like, she's not a great character." And then they really developed her here, and I was like, "Wow, she actually is kind of all right." So
kudos to them for probably noticing that and including it in the 3rd episode.
She's not a jerk. No, not like Scott Summers.
Scott Summers.
She's actually kind of tough, unlike Scott Summers. I was going to use this for a thumbnail, but I decided not to.
Yeah. So we got this, which everybody thought was ET, which they're probably right. Also, was very much Stand By Me.
No, that wasn't ET. Right? The ET one was the ships.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yep. He said that, but he said also.
Also,
he's kind of right.
Yeah. That's a Rob Reiner film.
I like it. Yeah. In the night.
Grogu, disagree. 100% disagree. Neil's the shit.
I don't think anybody will ever convince Tom that they're cute, or Marco that they're
cuter too, but that's okay.
Dude, what?
You heard me?
Nubs is fucking.
Nope.
You got to be a psychopath to like Knobs. All right, go ahead. Yeah, this is cool.
Kim, as we'll know her as Kim later on a thing, they get a nice little callback to the. Was it? I think it's like TK87 or something. What? These security droids are called. Where they question you, but
yep.
So nice little callback there. Also, an interesting fact that this is where he uses. Did I get a slide of it? Yeah, I did. The Crimson Jack line. So Kim, who they go to visit, who and one interesting thing about his character is like he says, "I'll take you to somebody who can get you home" or whatever, and he does, in a way, as for his own selfish reasons probably, but he does.
Yeah.
But the character Kim, who they go to meet, knows him as Crimson Jack, and she's the one that calls him that. He doesn't call himself that. So.
But it's not just him. Hold on, though. It's not just him because, like, the Republic knows.
Yeah. The Republic knows what. Yeah. Whoever she's talking to, there's a scene I didn't capture in the thing, but she's talking to somebody, and she kept saying he, and then she calls him Crimson Jack. So whoever she was talking to, that radio communication, which we assume is the Republic later on, knows him as Crimson Jack too. So,
Yeah.
but Crimson Jack, for the unaware, was a character originally from the comics in the original Marvel run.
The 70s,
Back in-
1978.
Yeah. So, and also reused recently in that was the one that came out recently.
Holocron would cover that.
The Halcyon Legacy or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
Halcyon, yeah.
So yeah.
Doesn't
So-
look anything like him. And StarWars.com talked about that this week.
Well, he would be dead, right? I mean, the actual Crimson Jack, like he's
No.
human, so
He's
He's
still
alive. He's alive.
still alive. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so is this a judo cast type thing where he's obviously impersonating Crimson Jack, maybe for
Well, they say, that's
or,
what they said on Star Wars.
clout,
Right?
kind of.
Yeah. StarWars.com pretty much confirmed it is not
They
Crimson.
said he goes by a bunch of different names or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Can't
kind
be
of funny
trusted.
it's kind of funny you said Judo Cast. Look what I have right next to me.
There you go. See?
There you go. You
Yeah.
see?
So
There you go.
clearly
Yeah.
impersonating character Crimson Jack. But here we'll get to it.
Oh,
when we
here's
talk
the
about
map.
plan.
Okay,
Paper
yeah.
in Star Wars.
Oh, I see this. Oh, I see this. He did, but he bit in the legacy in Halcyon Legacy. He's not dead, so we don't know.
Right. Those are
I would think at this timeline he was, but whatever.
Paper in Star Wars. That's nice. Let's go.
So we get a map unveiling, and we get an explanation from the character Kim that
There's the thing again.
These arrangement of planets known as the Jewel of the Old Republic, which were apparently planets deemed so important or whatever that they were hidden away from the rest of the planets by design more than anything else. And we actually got a lot of other information too. We got an answer on the barrier thing, at least most of an answer, in that at least she posited that it was basically like a natural gaseous type of barrier and not like a physical barrier. So,
Like a force field, yeah.
just like in Rebels. We talked about it last week. They had to go through the nebula to get to.
Did you notice that we're look at Neil's awesome hand right there too. Nice hand, Neil. Do you notice that is very similar? Like if you're looking at like religious relics.
Wall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you, Dom. Yep.
We got.
Good way to cut it off so I could. Yep. Very
No,
good.
I'm saying. I'm just giving you credit. The wall.
But that's that circle but it really is the circle of light thing that they have that's spraying off the back end, and then the actual nail down praising of the guy. Like that is very similar to the wall.
do you think from the map and the way it's laid out, is that supposed to be like maybe Adden is not necessarily the planet, because it almost looks like on the right is like some sort of master planet or something, right? That all the other planets are connected to, or maybe that's just my opinion.
So like it looks like there's a inner core.
Maybe Adden is the planet that leads you to the actual treasure planet or something like that.
I actually think that there's an inner core. It seems like there's like if you explain it in galactical terms, there's like a universe like the Milky Way or something like that, which is in the center of all the other. They're showing that like there's all these other planets that are somehow going around this portion of space. And in that portion of space is a set of 6 planets. And now these are what the 6 planets look like. Yeah. Because the leadership of the 6 planets will be on the side. That's like, there's a lot of religious tones in Star Wars in general, but like this is kind of like almost like the Roman thing where they're doing
it's very
planet, yeah.
It's very obvious too. We got the huge revelation that it's a lot of this is all pre-war stuff. Like the kids don't know anything.
Who did this too?
Who did what?
Who's writing these? Is this an Irish person or somebody with Gaelic background?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't look at their heritage.
I'm just saying, like maybe they like that or something because this does have those type.
It could be.
Like,
I mean, they've used Norse mythology in Star Wars.
Yeah, it has this type of
mythology.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it seems like they're trying to.
I wouldn't discount it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so we got also the huge revelation that the kids don't know anything about basically the war. Actually, either war really, the Clone War.
Yeah, because they've been gapped in, right?
Yeah, you mentioned Alderaan. In Alderaan, he goes, "You don't know."
Yeah, you don't know.
But they do know these planets, though. That's really interesting. They do know of an Alderaan. They do know of some planet.
Yeah.
So there's something they learn about the larger galaxy, at least.
Yeah. They've been taught that at some point.
Oh, there it is. Nice. Way to dom that one, Wayseeker.
Well, I did it myself. I forgot to hit.
Well, also too. So, like, if we could go, hold on. If we could go back to the thing, that's where I think that diagram of the center that you're asking, because there's a person with praying it. Like that's why I think this is the Milky Way or like the Sixth Gallery, whatever we can name it, whatever we want. The rotation of the circular map, like when you start going like all the way back to like, the era where you got Aristotle and stuff, is showing the linear grouping of outturned planets that may rotate around something of significance. So like this is almost like this sixth planet is the sum. So it makes sense that they know of the other planets because they would be like the sole. Like a lot of people thought that the Earth was like the basis and everything rotated. You know what I mean? Like not
It's
around
also
the sun, but around the Earth.
obviously not the same thing, but it's a little bit like Ahsoka, right? The maps kind of we saw for that, where it was. It was a planet, is like a map planet, or projects you to another lost galaxy type of thing.
Fair, yeah. So it had. Go ahead, Six. Go with you.
It reminded me a lot of Tanalorr, right? From Star Wars Survivor, like this another lost planet that you. We've seen this quite a bit. The thing I don't know is
it's like a lost galaxy, not a lost planet.
How do you know these planets have been destroyed? Like they said, all but one has been destroyed. Like if they're lost, like
well, she was saying that's what the legends say. All but one were destroyed or whatever. But you don't know that all but one are destroyed. That's just what this character, the owl character, called it. Yeah.
Hey, did you guys like the owl character?
I kind of did.
I mean, it was a little weird,
but
yeah, she's weird. I dug it.
Who, Kim?
Yeah,
it's okay.
It reminded me of when she was on the thing and the thing came down, the way she came down. If you watch,
one's not. No,
she clearly has like some sort of implants like on her. Like
they have
all her species that way, or just her.
I don't know. White owl type of thing.
So they have, but none of the names of the planet have come up to anything of significance.
Yeah, there were named planets when she's going through the rotation of them. There's an Arabic translation thing, and it was all Old Republic planets, but it's planets we knew, like Corellia, Tatooine, Coruscant, etc. So I think there was like 6 planets listed on the screen she's going through, but they're all named planets.
I love the creatures in Star Wars, so that's kind of a.
It was cool. I thought they did a great job with this one. Really moved well.
I like
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Right as Fern's kind of like, I'm done with this, I'm leaving, we get this little revelation of apparently, and not even knowing it, I mentioned that she still had that on her backpack, and it came up in this episode where she sees that on her backpack, and that's what leads her to which this thing kind of reminds me of the Stargate symbol. Anybody remember Stargate?
Yes, Stargate.
It's very much Stargate, but it's actually kind of a breakdown of symbols from Star Tours and Captain EO. So at least that's what it's supposed to kind of be a throwback to Easter egg was.
Interesting.
But apparently this translates to something. Apparently it means something. And also the symbol on her backpack is very similar to the school emblem they have on their Wim actually still wears his jacket when they left, so or uniforms. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, this reminded me a lot of Stargate too.
What were you saying? Oh, Blue Squadron.
So Kim rats out Ja to assuming that he's kidnapped the kids, which in a way he kind of has, but to the authorities of the Republic, and they show up. I couldn't get a good picture of it from the markings on the X-wings. They appear to be older X-wings, not necessarily the newer ones like flown in like Poe has in the sequel trilogy, but they appear to be like more of closer to the age of what they would have at the end of the war. And it looked like the markings were the Blue Squadron. A lot of people pointed that out online too. Which Blue Squadron, I think we saw Rebels, right, for a little bit, but yeah. So,
you think this was the Republic or just people who had these ships that were self-policing?
I think it was Republic, but I
mean, because
for sure.
Here's two things. I think we've heard it before that they did decommission some of this stuff, but like some of the older stuff always ends up in like further out in space, and that would make perfect sense for this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah. But you also could have planets that have mercenaries or something like that use military tech. So, yeah.
That's why they used them. It was cheap and easy to fix, kind of. So it's the Ford Escort of fucking the air.
The reason I positive that, and Wishy brings up a good point that I was going to ask everybody at the end of the show here. So we get that he lands. They actually definitely seem some type of authority because they say, oh well, it was too risky with children, so they didn't seem like cutthroat mercenaries that would at all costs go down. They seem more like galactic cops. But the question is, at the end, she's like, he asked where they were going, and he said, "If I told you, I wouldn't believe you." Does that lead anybody to think that maybe the New Republic actually doesn't know anything about?
I
the
told you
planet
that they don't know either. I told you. Remember that? I mentioned that the planet.
But then at the beginning, Wim's dad is like, "Well, did you talk?" So it's almost like the auspice is the people on the planet think they're part of the Republic.
Oh yeah,
they're taught that, but maybe they actually aren't.
That's an interesting point. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's almost like even the adults maybe on the planet are being gaslit. Almost
I think so.
Children
Yeah.
So,
Yep. I think what it'd be really fascinating to see is,
supervisor. Guess who the supervisor is?
Supervisor is.
Look, you ever think like
the supervisors use the people for food and fuel to fuel the planet?
Kind of like
we fucked up.
Matrix version of Star Wars.
Yeah. I think, like I said, it's still. I think it's a droid. Like Wave Seeker said, no.
Droid Grata.
The droid Grata. I
don't think the droid Grata because they're cut off from everything else.
Not the droid Grata, but it could, like I said, it could be an old droid from the Old Republic that is running the thing, but it also could be somebody from that's representing like the Imperial representation running the planet too.
Somebody brought up the point of AI in the chat. I think was it Grogu or somebody else? I don't remember who it
John,
was.
maybe.
But when it comes to something like that, I mean, you can very much have
droids.
Like something that originally was a human leader that crashed, right? And maybe developed, some sort of AI or something, and that AI is now taken over. The human's long since gone.
It's got the codes and it's got to keep them going.
Yeah, and it just keeps going and going and going, like a Skynet or a Matrix or something like that. But,
yeah.
Fair. That's a good theory. That actually would make sense. Yeah. Thank you, JJ. That's kind of what I was trying to say to help Dom out. Now you help Dom out by giving him a.
So are they going to go to the real Aten and find out that the real Aten is not their planet?
It's possible, or the I don't know. We'll have to wait and see because it could be that their planet is not the real Aten, or it could be that their planet is being disguised kind of as is at Aten, but it's not like a treasure planet.
I guess, but she said that it had that thing, and
it's like a metaphorical treasure that they said, so people wouldn't. So people have always kind of kept it in lore, but not really known where it is.
What about that the surroundings, the suburban area, is not really that? It's all a holographic type of thing. That they're not actually living on that type of thing.
Like a Truman Show.
Yeah, like if the thing goes out, like the holograph of the like the holodeck or something like that.
So what was I can't remember the name of the planet, but the planet that Thrawn's from, that he trained on, like
I'm gonna be no help tonight, bro.
As a cadet with the Chiss. But whatever it was, that planet's a lot like that, right? It's big sprawling cities that were under domes.
They're just under domes,
areas and stuff.
Yeah,
it was all under domes, and then kind of on the outline of that, the dome, it was very rural type of environment, rugged terrain and forests and stuff like that. So it may be a planet like that where basically the city's been built under this gigantic dome type thing, and the rest of the planet is barren or whatever.
But we're getting it's a nice planet, right? From where we're going next, if I remember right.
Maybe John. It's a good show though. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It would be too convenient and too easy for them to show up in the 4th episode on the planet they're looking for, right?
Right.
So how many more episodes are there? Would be my guess.
There's 5.
Oh, so there's only 2 more episodes.
No, 5.
5.
No, there's 5.
5 more. 5 more episodes.
Yes.
I had total episodes. You said 5.
You said how many more episodes? You said how many more?
All right, I'm not gonna argue with it.
Can I ask you a real quick question?
It's just a fucking dick. Fucking popped up my cold medicine and shit. Hold on, Dom. Let me yell at Wayseeker for being an asshole. Fucking half falling asleep out here. I'm fucking janking myself up, drinking 6 Red Bulls at fucking 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, and his asshole's over here going, you said, shut up. Shut up, Wayseeker. Just shut up. Dickhead. All right, Dom, go ahead.
Do you think that this has anything to do with the First Order, like the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely, Dom. Whatever you say, because I know it's gonna piss Wayseeker off. I agree.
No, something to do with the First Order. That the kids, like they're because they said they're taking us kids and the great work. Think about it, like the
great work comes up a lot in this too. We didn't mention that, but yeah.
No, like the aliens. I know aliens are a part of the Imperial stuff, like the First Order, but it could be that it's just a smoke and mirror type of thing that the kids are like,
It's possible. I mean, you're on to a little something there, Dom, because what if the building of the First Order is the Great Work?
Great work.
the Great Works.
They've just simply adapted that name from
JJ,
Old
stop
Republic or
encouraging him.
No, that's brilliant. I like it.
It's brilliant, but ain't what's happening.
I'm just fixing Dom's theories. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Wave Seeker, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna get something more than coal in your friggin' stocking this year. So.
He's talking about doo-doo. He's gonna doo-doo in your stocking.
I mean, like that theory is not. I mean, there's lots of theories now, right? I mean, we're not going to know anything probably until like episode 6 more about what exactly is going on. They're going to keep you in the dark a little bit longer. Then they'll let you solve everything halfway through, probably. But I mean,
it's moving fast though.
I mean, the parents
it
are
is.
leaving
No,
the
I've
planet.
got no problem with the
right?
pacing. I'm just saying they're not going to reveal everything in episode 4. But
The parents are leaving the planet next episode.
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
they're
in
definitely.
one next
I think
one.
at least 2 of them are. I think
Right.
Wim's dad and Fern's mom, I think, are probably going to team up to, that scene we got in the trailer of what seemed like him convincing her that they need to do something. I think is going to come.
And now the speeder bikes, because you see they're the speeder bikes.
That's the speeder bike last episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it could be
So I think
home by then.
yeah, I think they're. I think that scene of him kind of convince her that they have to do something is going to be.
You know what I really like about these? Like they seem very fast paced. That was one of the things we've been talking about Star Wars lately. The last couple of episodes is like there's drawn out episodes, or this is filler or whatever. Knock on wood, but like so far it seems like not like sometimes I'm almost like shit. Did they rush that too much by the end of the episode? Like this episode, they got off one planet onto another planet, off that planet and away from the.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And away from the Republic, and are on the and got maybe the map to where they're supposed to go. Now there's going to be tomfoolery in the next one where like either the pirates kept up to them or like they break down on a planet. I get it, but like it's still, and then they're going to discover where they need to go or whatever else. But
well, I think Wayseeker brought up the fact of like, how do they know those other 6 planets are destroyed? How do we know the little printout that he got from the computer is the right planet? Maybe it's one of those other 7 planets that really still exists. So they could very well be going to the wrong planet next episode.
Yeah, next episode, I think it's the episode. You remember the other trailer when he goes, "I want to go to the buffet." He goes, "We're not going to the buffet." My brother turns around and says, "I think it's the planet of Jack Black and Lizzo from Mandalorian." Yes. I'm like, "No,
yes,
no."
Your brother is a genius.
It just trolls down all the time.
Oh my god! He goes, no. He goes. It looks like the planet that they were on. That they went there. They stopped there. I'm like,
Jack
no,
Black shows
please
up.
not, please no.
Dude, if Jack Black shows up, I'm gonna love it. And Dom's
Dude, hey, Lizzo big old ass cheeks hanging out. I'm gonna roll over. All right, Brogu's right. It's about the time we stop talking in circles and start giving out scores. Go ahead, Dom. You're up top.
I give it a 9. I really enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed the fact that the mystery really deepens with him calling himself Crimson Jack and finding out about the planets around it. And they keep talking about Old Republic. We don't, like I said, they mentioned Old Republic, but we don't know Republic. But it gives me that hope that it could be the Old Republic. And I know that John Watts has come out and said otherwise, but of course they're going to throw you a bone. They don't want you to get excied for something. They're going to say something else. But I give it a 9. I thought it was a fun episode. It was great. I love the fact that when they got back on the ship and they took the ship and they were trying to go to hyperspace and the fuel line, the line was stuck on there. They couldn't do it and they messed up everything. And Captain Grace put a bounty on their head. So there could be bounty hunters in the next episode, which I'm hoping something. But yeah, I enjoyed it. 9.
All right, good. Go ahead, Wayseeker. Tell them why you hate him.
No, it's fine. It was an 8. It was fine. I think what you liked about the hyperspace line, the gas line, was stupid. And just jumping in the hyperspace, that was pretty stupid. If that's
like when he was coming back to the ship.
We keep changing the rules of hyperspace jumping in Star Wars.
Pacing is really good. I think Marco's right. I think it almost is too fast at times because it did too much in one episode. But I'd rather them try to do too much and move it faster than go super slow. So I give it an 8.
I mean, I'm probably right between the two of them. I'm probably about 8.5. They're like Wayseeker. There's a couple small things. Like I kind of thought the Hyperfist thing was kind of cheesy too, but you take off small little half points or points for that. I'm not going to penalize them forever for that. But in the end, it's still an adventure. I'm still having fun with it, and as long as I keep doing that, it's still going to be a great show.
I mean, I think I would give this episode a 10, and maybe it should get a 10, but I'm going to give it a 9 because I actually like the cheesy stuff. Like, not that I like the actual cheesy stuff, but I like that they put cheesy stuff in there to put cheesy shit in there. Like, that's part of Star Wars. The only thing I'll say is that the pacing, and I hate to say this because it might not be true. You'd have to watch it at the beginning. But is it going too fast once again? Like, that's where my concern starts to come into play. I'm not saying they need to slow it down at any aspect. I mean, it's a 9 out of 10. I'm just saying, like, if we have a problem where we get a filler episode, there's definitely at least 3 episodes where they could have put in like 2 minutes worth of fucking bullshit. But they didn't. So, I mean, that's what I got out of it. 9 out of 10. So, good enough for me. All right. Last bit tonight, boys and girls. We get to review Wayseeker's favorite fucking audio novel.
I don't know why you say that. But Tempest, this is the follow-up Tempest Runner. Which
Oh, do you have a fucking quiz sheet? Are we taking a quiz?
Yes, sure.
Oh, fuck. All right.
Tempest,
quiz
follow-up to Tempest Runner. And it's basically just a follow-up to the comics. And so that we'll talk about that, how that worked or how that didn't work. But you got tons of characters. One of the things about this book is it had like 5 million characters, which kind of drug the book down, in my opinion, a little bit. But your main characters are Lorna and Avar and Kiwi. Those are the 3.
I wish they would. There's no reason why Ava Chris is still alive after this book. They should have killed her in this book.
She didn't do anything in this book.
I know, but that's why they should have killed her.
It was not good for Ava.
And they replaced everything that she was supposed to be important for. They fucking just
Kiwi takes over in an interesting way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to have Avar Chris at all in the High Republic. She should have died here. And by the way, Laura D's little adopted child thing should have died too. Play toy.
Whatever. I don't really care about that. You got Skier.
Should have died.
Sarret.
Should have died.
I dropped off an ass on Skier. Has 2 S's, whatever. Sarret, Taysiric, and his droid Scoot.
Should have blown up.
What?
Should have blown up.
You're so negative about the High Republic. You got a lot of other characters. So, Boolin is the main bad in this book. Kind of trickster. We'll talk about that a little bit. Marcion plays an important role at the end of the book, which I think Marco hated. I have a feeling. But we'll talk about that. And
I didn't hate it.
Neil Darrow is the person the book is an interview. It's basically an interview with Lorna D and Rill, which was an interesting storytelling technique.
Spoiler alert, guess how many any of these characters died?
Yeah.
0.
0 so far. We got one who dies here. Mooglin dies. We got Quinn. Quinn is Lorna D's future lover. These are old partner. And Mooglin was another one. These 2 people ended up hating Lorna for abandoning them. And so those 2 characters play a prominent role from the comics. If you care about Mooglin or Quinn, this book's for you. Nobody cares about these characters. Elzar plays a very small role, meaningless as well.
Yep.
In this one. You got Oberlin.
Nice. Nice to see him.
If you really loved these characters from the Temple Peak, Carvana and Ferris, we find out what happens to them. Spoiler alert, they get eaten by the Nameless. So if you're specking on their first appearances, you lost.
I like that. Nice.
And you get the great Kraydon coming back.
Should have died. Shouldn't have come back.
I'm sorry. No. The dude in the left right there, Oberlin.
He's
still looks like fucking Slimer.
Yes.
That's how he's always looked.
Where have you been for 5 years?
Okay.
That's why he can't die.
Yeah. Okay. He's a Slimer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laura D shot him in the head, but he didn't die.
But we got Kraydon, but we didn't get the Twinkle Sisters. So if you remember, Kraton was the person.
Yeah,
in charge of
I
the
was
12
actually
Enlightenment.
surprised about that. I was so surprised the Twinkle Sisters.
Twinkle
thought at any
Sisters
turn the
did
Twinkle
not
Sisters would
show
show
up.
up.
I was surprised too. When Kraton came in, I'm like, oh man, where are the Twinkle Sisters? But no Twinkle Sisters. I don't know where Marco's going. JJ's on, so I guess I'm the only one talking about this book that's read it. Because Dom's like, I don't know what's going
I
on.
don't know what's going on. I don't care. I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah. Anyway, storylines. One of the brutal things about this book is the first hour and a half, not lying, was just recapping the comic runs. So we learned literally nothing for a fourth of the book. And they assumed that you didn't know the comics, which I guess
a lot of people don't read the comics. That's
I
the whole
get
thing.
that, but man, it was so boring. Like I know exactly what's happening. I'm learning nothing at all. So they started from like before who Lorna D was from the history, and then like the fall of Starlight, and then afterwards everything about what Lorna was doing, and you're just like, I've read the comic. So if you're gonna have a story based off of all the characters in the comic, and it's gonna be continued in a comic, don't review the comic for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was the worst hour and a half of my life listening to a Star Wars book.
This is what you're saying about this book?
The first hour and a half was the worst hour and a half of because it was just review, 100% review. We learned nothing.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what they've been doing. But that's what we said they've been doing with the comics and the novels the whole time too. They'll review it, and guess what? They're going to drop about 3 comics that are going to review the back end of this fucking novel. So,
yeah, basically, you're right. There should not have been that prequel book. It's basically saying we know nobody's reading the comics, so we're just going to retell the story this way.
but they do the same thing with the comic books. They're like, we know nobody's reading the novel, so we're going to retell the novel.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a problem here. First off, we already know Laura D's a bounty hunter, so who, like, that's the big thing at the end. Like, I mean, I think this is where we're starting to have problems where, like, this is like JJ said, like, let's move it along a little bit here. Instead of like, okay, cool. We know she's going to be a bounty hunter. Yay. All right. Yay. Skier kidnapped and healed. Once again, they should have let him die. They should have let him die.
I kind of agree with that.
I mean,
to me, you got to start cutting back on some of these characters, right? Like,
yeah,
we know they don't all make it out.
right.
Laura and Marcion feud. What was that about?
The few. I mean, so this book is mainly about Lorna, right? Lorna's the
Lorna
key
D.
character. Just to go through the storyline here, and how Lorna has to come to grips with she's really done some evil things. She's all her life she's been blaming other people for what she's done, and only when she comes to the realization that was really her does she start to make the turn to actually being something good. That so all the book is really leading up to Lorna's realization that a lot of it is her fault. So she has to come into contact with a lot of the people that she has wronged, and that she gets to see how mad they are.
Boring as shit.
For her to come up to that realization that, it was not Marcion's fault. It was her fault.
I actually really like their feud, and I like the character development of Lorna D. I don't know that I always like the execution of it. I agree with Marco. Kind of some parts of it kind of drug in there. Like,
yeah,
it's not like it's not like the last episode of Seinfeld where we have to see every single person she's ran into in the history. like you could just use a couple examples. You didn't have to go that deep sometimes, but I enjoyed though her character development, and and it's kind of a trope to take like a heel to a face turn. You know what I'm saying? But they do it pretty well, and it's an interesting character to see with because we don't really see it in anyone else in the Nihil. At least that was originally in the Nihil.
I think too, I actually don't have a problem with that. Like, I don't mind that was the basis of the story, but to keep Bulin and Skier alive, because they actually we get their story kind of, they're like interlinked through most of this too. I think they should have killed them both off. I know that they did it because they wanted to explain, Bulin was part of the Path of the Open Hand. Yeah. And I get it, but you could have done it as like martyr, right? He could have been a martyr at the end. And I don't know. And then Kiwi's the new Marshal, but nobody
So
fucking died.
going to the Lorna Marchion stuff, to me, this is the highlight of the book. Like the book, the first half of the book was pretty bad. Like, but then you get to Lorna and Marchion dancing.
I just tuned that out, Sticks. I
right?
don't know what you're talking about.
And to me, like when you get to this dance where like Lorna just tears into Marchion and saying, "You can't be who you are because you're now in this. You're in the light. You only thrive when you're in the darkness, when you're pulling the strings and nobody knows who you are. But now that you are front and center in the universe, you can't be who you want to be, and I can." And I thought that was such a powerful thing where like he wants to kill her, but she's the one who sticks her fangs into his throat and attacks him. And he can't do anything about it because he's promised to be the savior of the galaxy, and he can't be the savior of the galaxy if he attacks Lorna D for everybody to see. I thought that was the best part of the book, and then how it interacted later with, Well,
it also shows too that it kind of shows you, or at least previews, I guess, or foreshadows, whatever you want to put it, that a little bit of what maybe his actual downfall at the end of this whole thing, and the fact that you're great at obtaining power and kind of brainwashing people into thinking your way and being the iron fist that will, but it's the keeping the power that he has a problem with, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that's kind of foreshadow the downfall of.
At the end of the book, we see Marchion Rowe trying to be the hero, right? And that's what I thought Marco was going to have a huge problem with this book, because Marchion, he's the villain, right? That's the villain that a lot of us like. And here he is. He's trying to save the galaxy from Bulin. So Bulin, if you remember, he was part of the Path of the Open Hand. He was in Dalna, the Night of Sorrows.
But he
was the one that blew up the caves. And Bulin,
hold on, I think he's doing it out of self-preservation, right?
Yeah,
he lets Bulin blow it up.
Self-serving.
Yeah, it's self-serving. I don't think he's the hero. I think he's just like, I'm just gonna, because this is my shit. I'm taking this shit over. I'm not gonna let somebody take my toys away from me.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we'll talk about. So what Bulin's doing here is he has created a virus that basically he believes is going to take the Force out of everything, so the Force will be free. Unfortunately, what he doesn't realize is that everything is connected to the Force, and so he's basically like super blighting the blight to where everything will die. And Marchion realizes it. But Marchion has made a promise, and this is something that he wants to live up to. He's made a promise to be the one that rids the blight from the universe. And so he can't have Bulin be that person that rids the blight from the universe. It has to be him.
Right. That's why it's self-serving, though.
Yeah, but it's self-serving. I mean, he does that because he wants to be, the overlord. Like,
but he also wants to be seen as the hero, the savior, the person that saved the universe.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Yeah.
So did Hell H guy. He thought he was the fucking hero too.
If Bulin somehow rules the galaxy, that means he can't, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
So it's a self-serving read. Hey, granted, it's doing a good thing as a bad man, more or less. Yeah, I mean, right?
Yeah, just so that he can. Yeah, it's 100% it. The fuck you trying to make up some?
I don't know.
Words
I don't know.
Hey, yo, man. No, I got what it is. Here we go, dude. This is what he just pulled there. A bunch of that nonsense.
The word salad.
Dude, Waysinger.
What if it is? What if Marchion doesn't want to be bad, and that's how they're going to end this thing?
No, that's not. I mean, just you're just trying to make more talking points.
I can see Wayseeker's point. I can see his understanding of it, but I also think it's more along the lines of like when it's along the lines of like Lex Luthor running for mayor of Metropolis. To use a comic analogy, like he's not doing it so he can necessarily be a hero. He's doing it so that will give him more power and make him more malevolent.
Like the drug dealer giving out turkeys on Thanksgiving.
The way a threat for his rise to power.
And if he lets somebody else be mayor or somebody else, dethrone him, then he can't do that. So
yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll be interested.
Well, we should have seen, but we didn't.
The other big storyline is Kiwi becomes the new marshal
without anybody dying.
So instead of Avar being the marshal, Kiwi gets seen as the face of the Jedi, is what she gets lifted up to be, which is fascinating because that's not where I thought this book was going to go. I've always assumed, rightly or wrongly, that we're going to end with the reason that Kiwi walks away
Mhm.
from the Order. And I thought we almost had that. I put in a question. There was one part in the book where she almost walks away. She almost says, I can't do this, Avar. The Order is turned into something not about saving people. The Order is turned into fighting and vengeance.
Yeah, but she's been saying that every single time she shows up.
And,
So
and I'm done. And then somebody says, well, now we know where Skier is, so she goes, and Skier is safe. I feel like we got farther away from her leaving the Order in this book.
Seeker. Wasn't
I
she
agree.
wasn't she supposed to like seemingly eventually turn to the dark side?
No, we don't know that she goes
Not
dark side.
necessarily
She's supposed to
that. Leave the Order, but not turn to the dark side.
Lost 20 doesn't have to be people that go to the dark side. They just have to leave the Order.
Oh.
So we don't know.
Like Ahsoka.
But yeah,
Right.
she just wasn't a master.
Yeah.
Ahsoka
She
wouldn't
was
be
a
lost.
master, so she doesn't count in the 20.
Oh,
But yeah, more
yeah.
or less.
But yes, like Ahsoka, for whatever reason. But I feel like we got farther away from Kiwi leaving.
I agree, and I think they should. That's a stupid decision.
So, I mean, I think at the base, I actually had the same outlook at first. We got kind of further away from her leaving, but then when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, at the same time, though, usually you take the hit a lot harder when you're in charge and something goes wrong. So now that she's kind of the spokesman of the Jedi in a way, like, you know, what happens if she makes a mistake down the road that costs a lot of people their lives? Maybe that's what grants her to leave the Order. Because when we all know the old quote from the movie, like when Yoda said that she left, it's a sad story. You know, it's got to result in something somewhat rather tragic for her to leave, right? Somebody's got to die, either somebody close to her or a lot of people, or maybe
she just had enough.
I don't know, but
yeah,
or
maybe not. Maybe she just had enough. Maybe she's just like, fuck this job, I want to retire.
I mean, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed if that's the reason she leaves.
Yeah,
because I feel like the main part of the High Republic is getting the connection to the Lost 20, right? That's why we're getting the Kiwi story, and that's why Cavan teased Kiwi in Dooku Lost and the Lost 20 stuff. So
I don't think it matters really. I think they're just dragging it out for
forgot about it. Like, oh yeah, the Lost 20. Oh shit!
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree they forgot.
I don't think Cavan's forgotten, but other people might have.
Yeah.
Are we going to see we have one more adult book, one more kids book, one more youth book, maybe an audio book for kids. That's a follow-up to the one that me and JJ listened to a couple weeks ago. That's it with the comics. Is phase 3 going to end this thing?
No.
God, I hope so. But with every passing book and novel and comic, I grow more and more skeptical that it will.
No,
I honestly do.
Yeah, I agree with JJ.
We seem to be a lot of times inching a little bit forward and then taking like 3 steps back to the end game. It's almost like is it Sorry or whatever, where you get up there, eventually hit the wrong spot, and you have to slide all the way back.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what we're in.
That's what this book was. 100%. 100%. That's what this book was.
So.
I actually like this book. I actually thought it was a fine book, but it doesn't get. If you're putting it to like the end game, I understand why you wouldn't like this book, right?
It doesn't get
you. It doesn't get you to where you think you need to go in a short amount of time.
No, I like it for Lorna. Like I liked Lorna's character development. I even like Marchion's character development in this book. But like. And I didn't mind Kiwi kind of taking the new marshal role, but like Marcus said, there was no consequence to her taking the new marshal role.
Yeah,
it's like if Avar dies or something, or even if Avar, were somehow sidelined, incapacitated, leaves the Order, I don't know, whatever it is, like, that would to me give you more cause to move.
Pregnant with pregnant with man's baby.
Yeah, or wants to go marry Elzar Man. I don't know, whatever the hell the reason is. Like, it would give you a little more reason for you to move that football towards the goal line, but we haven't.
Yeah. So I think by itself, it was like a solid 8. Moving to the end game, it didn't do anything. So it was more like a 4, depending on which one I'm basing this thing on. But I think Lorna was great in this book. I thought the interactions with Lorna and even Marchion, who came forward, was great. I don't mind Skier being healed. Like, that's been a huge plot line since issue 1 of the comics.
Do you think by the end of the High Republic thing, and maybe this is a reason for keeping her alive, but we actually see it's kind of Avar, the one who goes dark, and almost there's this Jedi civil war sparked by the end out of this.
Yeah, maybe that'd be cool. I doubt
cross ideologies or something. But like, I mean, I would much rather than have them started this much earlier if that's their plan. But like, to me, that's the only plausible reason you kind of keep Avar in the game at this point. Because even where we had the line, because we kind of went over, I went over something of Star Wars 20 when Elzar Mann makes his first comic appearance, and Luke talks about people falling to the dark side, and Elzar kind of has this serious look, and he's like, "That happens." You think it's about Elzar himself because of his conflicting thing, but what if it's about somebody like Avar that he's close to? So
they just haven't given her the story that make us care about Avar falling.
Yeah, that's the thing I dislike about it would be the twist for no reason. But they kind of gave us the reason in this is that you see that she's become so focused on winning and revenge, and Kiwi says it's no longer the ideological ideals of the Jedi or whatever like that. And I mean, most wars, civil wars included, start over different ideologies, right? Held within the same group. Fair. So
I think you're right. I think the weird thing to me is like we've seen this Avar before, right? She lost Starlight Beacon because it was all about revenge, and Stellan dies, and you think, okay, Avar is going to correct herself, and she kind of did, and then out of nowhere she went back to the old Avar. That part honestly didn't make much sense to me.
Yeah,
like
because they keep setting her
anything to her development in this book.
And so that would have if that's their angle, it would make much more sense to do it earlier than now.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, I just hope it. I mean, I just end. Just give us an ending.
I don't think you're going to get there. I hope you're right, but I feel like they're setting up a phase 4.
No, I have left. No, I think you mean phase 3, part 3.
Part 3.
Yeah. Every time there's an end, like
phase
Harry
3
Potter,
part, we need our job.
The last movie, 2 movies. Anime does it all the time. You make the final season like 4 parts or something like.
What happens if that's the big reveal at Celebration and Marco's there? Like,
you'll hear somebody booing very loud.
Another 2 years. Another 2 years of High Republic novels and books.
Nobody cares.
I think people do. I'll be really interested to see, because we saw like High Republic.
No. People don't care.
High Republic panels have been sold out, standing remotely for the longest time.
Where?
Even in New York Comic Con, Marcos talked about it. There's been more people at the last celebration for High Republic.
No.
Are they going to be that way next celebration?
People go to shit because they want to get to on panels. They don't even know what it's about. But like, you can't say, Wayseeker, if you've been talking to the people in the street, that High Republic has a reputation. It doesn't. It hasn't. It has slowly sucked the fucking life out of itself. Just like this book, where you start off, you had a couple good points. Well, it actually starts shitty. Then you start to get something going. Then by the end, you're just going in the infinite loop of suck.
So the question is, at this point, you have, and we're probably in this boat, to be honest. Like, at least I know I am. I'm kind of pot committed, right? Like, I gotta actually go into this thing because I've committed basically, 3 years of reading books and comics and stuff to it. So I'm pot committed. I wonder how many people still interested in it are in that same boat of like they're pot committed. If they weren't, they would have just left it. And maybe that's why the buzz. I'm not saying it's not popular. I'm just saying maybe that's why the buzz that was kind of around in phase 1 is now largely kind of faded away.
Well, you see, JJ, you're right. Because I think that when they went back to prior to the first run, which they should have continued instead of going back to the past to come back, that threw people off, and people did not like it anymore because people were getting aboard with the first run, the first phase, and going back 100 years prior to the phase 1, brand new characters, all this stuff to go back into this, then come back and not even have the plot points of what phase 1 was all about going into.
Yeah, they didn't connect it very well. They still haven't connected it.
This book connected it, I thought, much better.
Yeah, they connected it some, and this book did help. I agree with that.
This book did, but I think, Dom, the reason I disagree with you on this, and I know you say this over and over again, and you haven't read phase 2.
I know
phase 3, but
I have.
You have phase 3 hasn't been good. I would agree with you if Phase 3 was good and Phase 1 was good and Phase 2 was bad. Phase 3 is not good.
I know it's not good.
It's not like Phase 2 derailed it.
I think you didn't live. Yes.
Phase 3
I think it
hasn't been good to come back. It hasn't even
no.
hit
If you
anywhere
just
near where
took,
Phase
if
1
you
was.
got Wayseeker, I think you misunderstand what I'm saying. I think he is right. If you cut out Phase 2, like the cancer it is, and you just go Phase 1 to Phase 3, I think you might still have something there. But
I don't, because you've derailed.
Well, you just made us talk for an
stuff
hour
about
on this
Phase 1.
book in Phase 3 that you apparently said was pretty decent, and now saying
It's
sucks,
not.
though.
Again, like I said, if you're talking about in Phase 3, I said it was a 4. Like moving to inline, I like the characters. I'm all in for Lorna D's character. Like that was good.
Look, I still like
adding in the Blight has done nothing to further this story. It's only made things. Bringing the Drengir back has done nothing.
I guess it's the one thing that I like. They finally got rid of the Blight. The problem is we're going to have to cover it in 15 other things.
Well, they didn't get rid of Blight.
They
cured it and it came right back.
Oh, well, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm saying it doesn't circulate.
That's the overall problem of High Republic.
Yeah,
it's the opportunity they have to actually get rid of something, they don't actually get rid of it. It comes back,
right?
Like the Blight, yeah. I mean, it comes back somehow.
Somehow, the Blight returns. There you go. The Drengir passed away. Yeah, you know.
I mean, we know the solution. The solution is you got to return the Nameless back to Planet X. You return the Nameless back to Planet X, the Blight goes away. The Nameless are happy. Like we all know this.
Or you freeze a couple of them.
Star Wars.
And bring something.
The Jedi can't figure out the solution. Nobody else can figure out the solution, but everybody's known the solution since 2 years from now. Ago.
Like Marco just said, you freeze one of the Nameless, have it come out in the Mandoverse timeline where the Jedi have to fight the Nameless here now.
No, we do not need that. We're done with that. But I mean, I agree with you. Phase 3
has been a disappointment. So much better because Phase 2 just threw everything off, and that's what I'm trying to say. Phase 1, when Phase 1 began, people are like, all right, a new timeline in the Star Wars universe, this and that, new characters. All right, let's get aboard. It's at the Skywalker saga. So people took a slow turn to liking the High Republic in the
they did good stuff in the first stuff.
They did because it was original ideas. They had new characters. They had a new plot.
Lots of people were excited.
Exactly. And as the books went on in Phase 1, people were like, you know what? This is pretty cool. But then when they went to Phase 2, and we're going to go back 150 years, 100 years, and it gets kind of threw everything off. When Phase 3 came back, they lost the plot of what they were about.
Phase 2 also, and we've kind of had this discussion before in the past, but it's not just that Phase 2, changed the game and went back in time. It was kind of the execution of it, but also putting a lot more cooks in the kitchen. And we've said it before, you don't need every single writer that started in Phase 2 keeping going on to Phase 3 and the Phase 1 people. Like now you have so many people that I don't even know that
like
they
I
can
said,
keep track of what they're doing.
It just seems like, who can we get a paycheck? Who can we get a paycheck for? Who can we get a paycheck for? It's like,
exactly.
Who can? It's like us talking in a circle about this thing at this point.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of interest when Phase 3 started back up again. Don't downplay that, Dom. I remember when they got the hidden reveal cover that Yaga was alive on Starlight 3, and that comic book sold out, and it went for like $70 for no reason.
I know. Look, there was the point is that I think people, it just took a long time for the continuation, and it just, like I said, there's too many characters, too much inside happening. You went from the Drengir, from the Nile to the Drengir, to going all the way back to the Nameless, and then coming back, and the Nameless was involved, and the Laura Dean was a great character when she was bad, and Manchar Rowe was great in Phase 1. He was mysterious. He's like, this guy's a badass, this and that.
Up until this book, he hasn't been in Phase 3 all that much.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's why you took away one of the best parts of the High Republic in Manchar Rowe. he was intriguing and he was freaking awesome. And that's the problem. You introduce new characters. You started introducing brand new characters in the third phase that weren't there in the first phase. I say it just threw everything off. It really wasn't cohesive the way the story should have been.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Dom. I just think
Yeah.
I don't think it would have mattered because I think phase 3 has been such a disappointment.
Yeah.
I think we would be arguing
Well,
how
yeah,
bad
I
phase
think-
3 is either way.
I mean, no matter how you argued or where it went wrong, the end result of all these arguments are the same, right? Which is like they should have started ending this thing a while ago.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said,
Should
we're
be
not
done.
going to make it now. I don't think so. I agree with you.
Well, we'll find out Star Wars Celebration what happens. Marco's going to get all the info of all the.
It's gonna get a big boo if they say this shit's continuing. I mean, I know I talked to somebody and they said they were going to do something out of it, but I assumed it was a prequel set that they kind of said they were going to try to do. So I figured that's the route they're going. But if they go in as a post set, like or continuation of phase 3,
prequels, the phase 2 it was a prequel.
I think he's talking about a prequel to phase 1 with like young
High
Navarro.
Republic, High Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what he means because everybody at one point was invested in Avar and Elzar and me.
I mean,
exactly.
It wasn't that long ago. I mean, it probably was about 6 to 8 months ago where somebody had told me somebody who knew had told me that that's what they were trying to do. But after seeing this, it just seems like everybody's trying to, like I said, everybody's trying to get a paycheck. Just try to get that paycheck. Doesn't matter what you put out.
Hey, look, Marco, look what I found. You see?
What?
Stinky.
Yeah, the toy. I talked about that earlier.
I like that.
If it ends, they're gonna rush the ending. And I almost want them to rush the ending, but it's gonna feel so disjointed. Like, how did this thing just end after these last 10 months?
Because they set up the ending. They did false endings 16 times. It's like a bad wrestling match at this fucking point.
But it's gonna. I know we all want it to end, but I do want to find a way they can end well, and I feel like they can't do both.
We do TAC. TAC doesn't talk about either one of those two things before they leave.
Well, look
Yeah.
what just popped up on the on Instagram. They're coming out with a new Lego set.
Hmm.
The Death Star, $1,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, here we go.
The biggest
You want us to
Lego
change it
set
up? We'll
ever made.
bring on sticks to give you a whole hour and a half talk on Doctor Who.
Oh,
How about
Doctor
that?
Who.
You want to change it up?
He'll talk about the Mudmen, how many Mudmen he's got, and
I don't even know what that is.
how many
All right,
doctors.
well, hey, dude, I'm like conking out at this point. So, I gotta go. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. We will see you. Watch all of our great shows here on Renovision. We got them all. Yeah. Later.
Steve Art's like it's
Things
gonna
not
end for you.
fucking
It's like an
ending.
end. We're gonna be